small part. Open up my eyes, oh Lord, open my heart. I don't wanna be so bold to think I could think so bold. Don't wash my big ego and beat it until it falls. Put it in my back pocket and burn it before your throne. Let me move without it cluttering my cold. Act like the desert and let the wind shape you. You're not the main character, you're just your point of view. Let not the tyranny of vanity keep you from God. Head on up the mountain and look at the sky. It is cloudy and gray and clear blue at the same time. All that you ever saw before was a small part. Open up my eyes, oh Lord, open my heart. Heading on up and heading back down again. Tell me, Lord, will I ever truly ascend? Stings when I get too close sometimes, and I don't know if I'll ever be good enough to come home.
Howdy, y'all. How y'all doing? Happy, what is it, Tuesday? Happy Tuesday, May 12th. May 12th. What do we got going on today? Yeah, I wanted to talk about online stuff, online orthodoxy, whatever that is. You know, it seems like because the online avenue is one key beacon, I would say, a billboard sign, if you will, for orthodoxy, you're going to get a lot of counter-orthodoxy as well. So just like in advertising, there's counter advertising. Just like in politics, there's a smear campaign. And this is going to keep increasing the more popular orthodoxy gets. Now, I don't know if I said this before, but this view that orthodoxy is a trend or a fad, orthodoxy will survive the trend and the fad for orthodoxy. If it's the case that there is a fad or a trend for orthodoxy, orthodoxy will survive that. So, because the state of politics, I don't know if you guys noticed, but people, at least not everybody, but people are maybe increasingly tuning out the mere political dialectic isn't enough for people. It's not enough. It's not fulfilling. It's not a big enough game, let's say. So what is a big enough? Orthodoxy is a big enough game. You know, that's a big enough game. And so now people are looking for the bigger games. What are the bigger games? What are the games that inform your politics? What are the what's the paradigm that's going to tell you which country, what kind of town or country you want to build? It's going to be a theological paradigm, and people have avoided it for so long. I mean, think about the American political system for the last 50 plus years. It's been sort of like lip service theology. Oh, God, country and man, God and country, stuff like those, right? You just kind of say your things, right? And oh, he's religious. Oh, wow, Obama believes in God. Okay, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing like sharp edged. It's a soft edge. It's a soft edge, and people are done with soft edge. So that's why, like, mere political dialectics, they're still kind of interesting, perhaps to some degree, but they're not enough. They're insufficient. And so people are moving towards what is sufficient, and there's a battle of ideology. There always has been. But now it's more explicit, and it happens online. Yeah. So there's that. Reziel, can you do me a favor and not advertise other live streams while I'm live, please? So the question is, what's online? What is online? What the hell is this beast? What are we even doing? Well, there's positives and negatives like most things. So the positive of online, what you guys call online orthodoxy, colloquially, we don't actually mean orthodoxies online. It's actually not online. Orthodoxy is in the parish. Orthodoxy is in the community. Orthodoxy is in life. Your life is orthodox. The life is orthodox. You can be a life. I'm an orthodox living person, right? I'm online. So to that extent, that's what you're going to see. But as far as the faith and the practice, the life of orthodoxy is not, you can't like really grab it online. It's not a commodity. Now, the opposition would love to present it as a commodity, but it's not. It's not a commodity. It's not. No, I get it, Reziel. No problem. I'm just saying. I actually don't know if I can react to it because that's such a big platform that I think, like Joe Rogan, it gets flagged and you get shut down if you do a live reaction, unfortunately. That's what I think. I don't know. The rules don't apply to everyone equally, obviously, Like Crowder had a really funny, like, skit with guns. And I'm just like, dude, how does he get away with that? Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this thing called online orthodoxy, I think this topic is going to be more and more relevant as time goes on because there's not only a concern for people who are anti-orthodoxy online, but they use that for people within the church who kind of don't like online orthodoxy. And it's a nuanced thing. You've probably met people at your own parish who are like, this is, I don't like it. I don't like the contention. It doesn't really represent the life of orthodoxy. And in a sense, they're kind of right. Now they might be a little bit softer on it. They're less hard-edged. They're less aggressive. They're less militant. And they look out and they go, these guys, the loudest of the Orthodox, are more sort of aggressive and stating their position and fighting off the false position aggressively. And it's like, well, that phenomenon is something to do with the internet, where the more aggressive, the louder, the more combative are going to get the more airtime. You're not going to really get the soft approach seen as much. That's just the reality. It's like a boxing match. You're going to see the boxing match. It's less likely you're going to see mostly the long, soft-spoken talks. You got to find those things. But nonetheless, the term online orthodoxy is going to be used against orthodoxy more than used for it, as we've seen the attacks specifically, and the kind of like attempts to manage people online. I'm going to manage people. Well, To some extent, your priest can do that. And that's who would be doing that if there needed to be management. And priests take different approach for different people. But as far as online, this sort of this attempt to govern as like a lay or a parishioner or something like this online, like you're fighting some necessary battle, is kind of absurd, honestly, because Orthodoxy is much larger, much deeper than anything you're going to see online. In fact, what you're going to see online is the tiny, tiny, tiny minority of people who are Orthodox. Most people are just living their life. Most people have normal jobs. Most people live their church life and their prayer life in private, right? That's the reality. And so it's kind of like everything. You see the worst of everything. You see the best of everything online on a screen, and you think that's reality, and it's not. It's not reality. The internet is a part of reality, but it's not a full frame of reality. That's why when it comes to Orthodoxy, yeah, you can talk about it. Yeah, you can debate it. Yeah, you can get into church history, and everyone should. But if your church life, if your actual life isn't representing it, if you don't go to church, if you don't go to liturgy, if you don't convert people to Orthodoxy in your life, then you're sitting on a false battlefield. You're sitting on a sort of a simulated battlefield, if that's the case. Because you got to bring it into your life. You have to meet people flesh and blood in life to show them who you are as an Orthodox person.
This is a church that has seen the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, the Dutch Empire, the British Empire, and the Soviet Union.
Right.
That alone should be able to say more about it than someone being mean.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And people would love to mischaracterize it the other way around. Oh, look at Jay said. Oh my gosh, Andrew curses and smokes. Oh my goodness. This is just, I've had enough. And it's like, look, I don't know who has the scoreboard, but there are a lot of people moving toward Orthodoxy for a variety of reasons. And yeah, you could probably list a couple people who move away from Orthodoxy because of how someone is online. Sure. Who corrects that? That's someone else corrects that. That's something you can't really manage that, honestly. You can't manage people. You can't do that. You can't manage people. You could attempt to, but it's going to come off. That's going to be not great either. So these counter signals that you get within, quote, online Orthodoxy, you're going to see a lot of that. And I think that's going to increase. I think it's going to increase. I mean, people have channels where they celebrate, faith report or whatever. I just got 2 catechumens to turn around and no longer pursue Orthodoxy. It's like you see that stuff. Or you see people trying to get baited in, right? You see Orthodox people trying to get baited into commentary. Oh, what do you think of Jay Dyer? Oh, let me give my 2 cents. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad you interviewed me. I can't wait to talk about Jay Dyer, mean people who you guys think are mean. Let's talk about it. That's not online. That's not Orthodoxy either. There's a kind of an irony, sort of like a contradiction. If your argument is, I'm tired of the online world representing Orthodoxy, but you go and participate in online conversations about how online Orthodoxy is not Orthodoxy, is a bit silly. Move people to the church. Tell them to go into the parish. Go to liturgy. That should be the top priority, first and foremost. If you're an Orthodox and you're counter-signaling to someone like Jay Dyer or me or someone else who's loud, right? Talking heads who are loud, aggressive, they debate, they're contentious, right? That is what's happening online. If you have a problem with that, move people to the real thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't pile on and focus on those things that you think are counter to orthodoxy, now you're a part of that. Reach over to somebody and say, hey, I know the contentious stuff you don't really jive with online. And if you think that's like, the full expression of orthodoxy, I just invite you to go to liturgy, right? Because that's where you're going to find it. And that actually works with people, because you're not jumping in and piety signaling with them. You're just getting where they're at and giving it back to them and giving them a branch to something real. And honestly, it's refreshing because, it is frustrating. It's frustrating to not be able to convey what orthodoxy fully is through the screen. I wish I could, but you can't. It's a different category altogether. You wish you could correct people online, and so that everyone gets that, this is, you're lying to people. But you can't. You got to get them into the doors. That's the only way to do it. Correcting to a proposition that's inconsistent about orthodoxy, just correcting it, even that really doesn't get people in the door. Oh, I thought it was idolatry. I thought veneration was idolatry, but someone corrected me with a proposition, and now I understand. It's like you have to go experience. You have to go experience. You have to. They want Trent Horn to be the Christian opponent for the same reason they want Tim Pool to be the extreme far right. Yeah, there's a guarded presentation model for some reason. I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons, but it's let me orchestrate. It's like curation. There's a curated formula online. And it's exhausting, honestly. It literally makes me want to raise money for a bus where it picks people up and brings them to liturgy, honestly. It's better than any video I could ever make. It's better than any deep dive into church history I could ever do. It's better than any book recommendation would be an ortho shuttle that literally picks people up and brings them to liturgy. Anyway. And the political arena is a bit a part of it. It's a little bit of a part of it because people sometimes lean into their politics and then they have their politics determine how they think orthodoxy should occur online as well, which is a whole other arm, right? It's a whole other beast that you're dealing with. And it's like this weird tension between orthodoxy and politics is the politics is usually geared toward the world, which we're called to be in, but not of. But we're also attempting to sort of baptize the world into orthodoxy. But the trend is to sort of do the reverse. People try to do the reverse. It doesn't work. You don't conform orthodoxy to the trends or the politics. It's the opposite. That's why it's a bigger game. That's why a political advocate, the worldly game, the people who play the worldly game will always win the worldly game. And our game is to get them to participate in the spiritual game, not just the worldly game. We have to do both. The worldly people, they don't need to do both. They don't need to talk. They don't need to think about their spiritual life. They don't need to think about spiritual decay and sin. They don't care. They're just doing politics. And we have to consider politics and this other thing. We have more on our plate. We have more to live for. We have more to die for. Are you banned? No, you're not banned. I'm not sure if you were banned for disagreeing with the chat. I think that's a headline that you wrote. I think you're probably put in timeout for not answering direct questions, honestly. Berserk, thank you so much for the $5. Appreciate you. I'm online, sort of. Sorta. Yeah, go to liturgy, see? Go there. They have sin shuttles. Sin shuttles. That's funny. In other news, speaking of politics, David Wood is going to be debating Andrew. Silly. David Wood doesn't want to debate his theology and come to what is the truth of Christianity. Rather, he's going to debate. He challenges Andrew to a debate on whether or not Orthodox Christians should support Muslim something. It's like, what's next, David Wood? Are you going to debate an Orthodox Christian on whether or not we should use a hammer and, I don't know, slaughter random babies in the street? And next up, David Wood debates top-tier debater on Christian debater on whether or not heroin is a good thing for people. You dum-dum. Don't get me started. That little, I don't know. David Wood and the merchant guy, they're up to no good. I like David Wood until he got the Artsa box. Well, I mean, you can like David Wood, but if you really look at it, Jay is completely right about his assessment. And it's like, all of these people who are really good at refuting Islam, yes, we need people to push against Islam. Yes, we need to show the broken theology, the broken culture. Their value system is all messed up. It's good to see that. But the thing is, like, he's right to say, once you see that that's all they have, it's not enough. It's just not enough. And if it's not enough, guess what? If you don't have the fullness of Orthodoxy, you're probably going to end up shilling for Israel, honestly. You know, because what is the game? Is there any, does David Wood actually point to a true church and convert people? Say, go to this church. Convert. Convert. Like, what are you pushing people to? It sounds like he's pushing people to a political position, particularly Zionism, a defense of Zionism. That's nothing, man. That's nowhere land. That's utopia land. That's probably why he doesn't want to debate, because his gig would be up, dude. If he debated Jay on theology, Orthodoxy versus Protestantism, his entire his whole entire thing would be over. He's not going to do that. He has everything to lose. Everything to lose. Ridvan got honeypotted. Yeah, something weird, you know. Oh, I'm going to be Orthodox. Let me take a trip to Israel and kiss the wall right before. Yeah. Catechumen goes to Israel and kisses the wall. Comes back and is a rabid defender of not only religious Zionism, but political Zionism. Both of which are frowned upon in Orthodoxy. Who are you? Who is this priest of yours, by the way? It's all very strange. Angelic Mind, can you please stop spamming, dude? This is basic etiquette. Send a super chat. Get him out of here. Get out of here. Beat it. Scram. Is he not? Well, he's never was. I don't think he was ever baptized. I mean, you know, not to get personal, but, you know, he started as a catechumen, was going to move his whole entire family into it, and then it all fell apart. And it's like, maybe that's, you know, you introduce a challenge or tribulation when you seek orthodoxy. Things get challenging. You get demonic attacks. You get people attacking your life, your family. And that's the challenge. That's one of the challenges of orthodoxy. So, That's how that goes. Some people fall to it, you know what I mean? Some people fall into it. Bagel Orthodox, yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, so I wish I could bring up, I don't know if I should risk it, but YouTube has their automation pretty down, so I'm kind of thinking if I tried to review Crowder, maybe I'll save that for tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm hosting a debate tomorrow, by the way. Make sure you put it on your calendar and hit the notification bell. Actually, everyone should check the notification bell. I'm definitely getting throttled, but still winning. Tomorrow's going to be a really good debate, Gnostic Informant versus Alex Soren. Alex Soren, I think, like a new favorite debater. He's like a well-rounded debater, nice, normal guy. You know, he's not very aggressive, but he has some good rhetoric. And super smart, has a good sense of church history, doctrine, scripture. He's very well-rounded and presentable. So that's someone I'm going to be kind of pushing up. I want to push him up. I want to give him as many debates as possible on my channel. And I think that's going to be good. You know, because you can't say he's mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, people made their mind up about Jay. They made their mind up about Andrew for sure. But you can't really say he's mean. Like, you can't really, there's no angle to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be good. I felt your pain. I know, that was painful. That's why I drank rye. The only way I agreed to that debate was like, oh, I'm going to have 2 large glasses of a rye whiskey. So that's what I did. You know, went a little hard at the end. You guys are kind of mean. I mean, we can be. We can be. Look, I'm open for correction. I'm open for spiritual correction from my spiritual father and priest. But it's like, this is kind of warfare, though, at the same time. This is warfare. He also has Father Stephen DeYoung. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. When am I going to have Kent Hovind? I mean, Kent Hovind might be a scud. I think Kent Hovind is scud worthy. I kind of want to just do an interview with him, honestly. You know what I mean? Just shoot the crap with him. That would be cool. The meanest of them all. That Counterdox dude made a vid on how Byzantine chant will die in America, so it's bad to have like a choir, I guess we call it. The Byzantine chant. I actually don't know too much about that trend. I don't think a Byzantine chant can die. It's either used or not, and it's always there to be used. So if he says die, it's just not used culturally. I mean, you could always bring that back. I've got to support you, Jim Bob. Thank you so much, Julian. You've always get to the crux of the matter, where the rubber meets the road. We work for a monarch in Christ, not for government. The government should work for us. That's right. That's right. Thank you for that. $10. Yeah, and I think there's no problem. Now, the biggest challenge for Orthodoxy, if someone said, I'm a Christian nationalist and I want the politics informed by my Christian ethics system, you got a larger problem in America because of the system that it is. Now, you could either daydream about changing the system from a representative democracy, republic, to some sort of monarchy, but guess what? You need people. You need priests. You need converts. You need to demonstrate, I don't know, a type of community that's akin to a Mormon community that's pure Orthodox. Have we built that yet? No. So, don't get too excited. Just a little reality check for everyone. You're like, oh, I'm dreaming about the new Byzantine American Empire. Did you convert anyone today? No. I'm making a flag. Oh, you're making a flag for the empire? Yeah. Oh. have you talked to anyone at your parish, perhaps, who might be interested in becoming a priest? No. I gotta. I'm working out. I'm designing a gate on Blender. I'm designing a Byzantine Orthodox gate on Blender first. Okay. Alrighty. That's cool. Yeah, you have to take that position right there. That's the realistic position, just like the cathedral. This cathedral, what is this? Dad, why am I working on this? What is this? Oh, it's a cathedral. Oh, cool. You're not going to see it. I'm not going to see it. Your kids aren't going to see it. Sweet. When do we start? So, anyway. So, yeah, I'll actually save Crowder Nick for tomorrow. Do a review. I want to reduce the risk of my streams being just removed by YouTube. You know, it's tough out here for a little guy like me. Tiny little channel, no extra protections, no favors. Total opposite. Governments can change overnight. It takes a match. That's funny. Well, that's the thing is like you can tear down everything, but if you don't have the people to fill in the void, you just get whoever's left over, right? Suzanne says send Jim Bob money. That's correct. That's a correct proposition. Kick kind of sucks though, honestly. Kick is not stable. It's just not stable. It's just like, and no one's there. Honestly, no, you can't be found by anybody. It's like, what is that place? Anyway, just to finish at least this thought on online orthodoxy. I can't stress enough, if you're Orthodox and you're playing online, you know, and battling, consider every time you're about to, quote, wreck somebody, try to think about a way in which you can invite them to liturgy. Because sometimes a single invitation is more influential. Just a single good faith, authentic, sincere invitation is sometimes more palatable and effective than any correction that you're trying to make. Just consider that. And that's advice to myself. So I'm not speaking, you know, I'm not leaving myself out of it. It's actually mostly to myself. Orthodox Philip made a response to Cleve, and he said meant no will joining the schismatics. Yeah, I understand. I watched that too. Like, that's good to be clarifying what's going on, because sometimes guilt by association can go both ways, where you're like, what are you doing? But the thing is, it's like, if someone invites you up as an Orthodox person to bash Jay, that's not good for Orthodoxy. You're pandering to people who hate you. And those lowest common denominator people, the JP Uncut, people should just stop watching him. Rosie Perez of Protestantism. Just stop watching him. Stop reacting to him. He's got nothing. His entire identity is counter-Orthodoxy. That's their entire identity. You just ignore them. Like, there's just swine. Like, don't give them anything. Give them nothing. You don't jump on, oh, well, I'm so glad you invited me to talk about Orthodoxy. And then you frame it like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to share Orthodoxy. Hey, what do you think of Jay Dyer? No, that's not an opportunity to share Orthodoxy. What do you think of Jay Dyer is not evangelism for Orthodoxy. Hey, what do you think of Jay Dyer, though? So what do you think about that? Or can we talk about Orthodoxy? Yeah, he's tiny. He's begging for content, and people are giving it to him because he's a lolcow. So it's very tempting, isn't it? I understand. It's very tempting. Like, oh, what's this? The guy we reviewed yesterday, I don't even think I should do it. I don't think it's good for him. But he made 5, 6 follow-up videos just because I mentioned him on my stream. See, I don't think this is good for him. Even though there's gold. There's just gold. So many funny statements there. He says he's Orthodox since 2016. I would just wonder when's the last time he went to liturgy or was guided by his spiritual father or priest on matters of, I don't know, Eastern, all those Eastern philosophy practices. I wonder. Something on the side? Yeah, it was a pin. No, it's not a chip in my head. Otherwise, I could answer any question you gave me. They don't want to talk about Orthodoxy. They want someone to get mad. Yeah, they want a clip farm. They're maggots. They're demon maggots. They don't want anything. Silly. That's why I'm a little bit, I guess, distraught. I don't online. I love my stream. I love my chat. I love you guys. I love being able to do this. But I look at X and stuff, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? It's like a hellscape. Like I deleted it on my phone, at least. Now I use it for X Spaces, like to talk about stuff if I need to, or post some memes or whatever. But I think I'm gonna stop engaging, like responding. I think I'm gonna stop typing on X. Now, I said this before. I only deleted it for like 3 days, and everyone's like, saw you post the other day, or saw you respond the other day. I'm gonna try it again. Just get back on the horse. It's such a waste of my time, and it's like my thumbs. Like, yeah, my thumbs get strong. My thumbs have a 6-pack. But for what? For what? The time. The time. Just think about the time. They should literally give you like an update on how much time you spent with your thumbing around on X, getting this weird cortisol, endorphin seesaw effect where you think you're winning or they're losing or, terrible, man. Screw that. Screw that. Much rather make some interesting stuff over here for you guys, and music, cartoons, skits. It's kind of. Is Jew hatred inherent to Orthodox Christianity? Not hatred. Well, if you mean hatred rejection, yeah, but hatred in the emotional sense, no. John Chrysostom, no, he was just saying how it is, right? If you read his homilies, homily 1 in particular, no, that's just describing the reality of people who reject Christ. That's just accurately describing it. Now, since his homily, a lot has happened, right? Maybe at the time he would never conceive that there would be a certain decade with some events that would be eternally used as a shield of criticism from the Jewish people.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
You know what I mean? It's like a faux pas, a stigma. Oh, you can't do it, right? He would have been canceled at the time. If St. John Chrysostom had a Twitter account, it'd be gone. I deleted Instagram on Saturday for this exact reason. Yeah, you can't be thumbing around. That's another part of this topic, is like thumbing around the internet is not an Orthodox practice. Like, you got to really consider it. Like, you could thumb around and win a mini war with your thumbs, or you could read your prayer book. You can thumb around on the internet. If your thumbing around doesn't end in the invitation, in a kind, warm, inviting invitation to an Eastern Orthodox divine liturgy, you're wasting your time. Honestly, it's like that. It should really be that strict. If the end of the tunnel of your interactions isn't an invitation to divine liturgy, I mean, you might as well just be praying, honestly. That's what I think. Seriously. So yeah. Rumble's a mess, dude. Rumble's a disaster. It's ugly. It's clunky. It's got a bad culture. I hate it. I hate Rumble. Put my priest on my Facebook for that reason. Reminds me that he will see that's what I think recently, Justin. More and more people, especially in my parish, are knowing who I am. And it does make you think. It makes you go, wait a second. You know, I don't just get to go to liturgy in person, participate in Orthodoxy, and then just escape into a new person like I'm like Superman. Oh, no, I'm online now. It's like, don't worry. I'm not Orthodox. You know what I mean? I'm not an Orthodox teacher or anything, so don't hold me to the faith. Nah, I think that's a cop-out. Would I precept my grandma? That's funny you should say that, because that's actually how my grandmother died. I precept her to death. Poor woman. I didn't mean it. Outside of YouTube, I managed to completely escape the evil of social media almost entirely by accident. When I see people swiping through Instagram, it's foreign to me as defecating on the street. It is weird, dude. And I am one of the, I fall victim to it. I'm guilty, I should say. Because it's like this escape. It's just like, droning on, looking for something you can bite down on. Oh, I don't agree with that. Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? I'm going to correct them. Here's a Mormon. I'm going to ask them the questions. It's like, stop, dude. Ugh. It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I'm actually embarrassed. I embarrassed myself. I'm ashamed. Shame. Just feels so lawyery. I'm gonna correct them. I see a post. Here we go. What'd you say? Here I come swooping in. I'm gonna correct your post. You'll know the truth after I'm done with you. You will know the truth and that I'm right. You are wrong and I am right. Send! That's how it feels. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, they should have an app. Every time you're on your phone, there's a little camera facing you. It shows a you, like your live feed of yourself. And they just add curls. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fight online without seeing an image of you reflected back at yourself with dangling curls. In this feminized, materialistic culture, we're looking for strong role models. In my opinion, people fail to separate what's required of us from desires. Thank Christ for the Orthodox Church to keep me in check. Yeah, and that's actually a great distinction, Flavius, because how much of our participation online, that we're not doing Orthodoxy, but how much of our interactions online, like the interactions where we're actually debating people and fighting people, how much of that is desire driven? I'm not saying there can't be an aspect to that that's righteous and good. I'm just saying how much of it's not. I think it's a fair question to sort of assess. I mainly just use platforms like X and Discord are set up for debates. I'm not doing that, and then I start to feel like I'm wasting time. Yeah, very quickly you feel like you're wasting time. That's why it's better to sort of concert your efforts and do a production. That's why debates are actually good, because instead of thumb war, you just ask someone, hey, do you want to do a formal debate? It's all in one spot. Everyone can watch it. It's organized. It's managed. It's moderated. It's controlled. X Thumb Wars? Wild West. I can't do it. It's cooked. I'm cooked. I cooked myself. I literally cooked myself. How much is pride? I'm right. I found the truth. Yeah, there's that too. And I think Orthodox people do have to deal with that. That's the irony is that the original categorization of an ortho bro was actually determined by Orthodox people at like a summit to manage people's zeal. You know, we all have zeal. I had it, still have it. I'm still, technically baby Orthodox. I still have a zeal for Orthodoxy. I still feel like I have a privileged sword. And it's like, that's kind of what the analogy would be. It'd be like, I have a privileged sword called the truth, and I'm going to kill you with it, basically. And it's like, wait. You got to decide what you're killing here. You got to decide. You got to use discretion and discernment when you use it. You know? It's not a free toy that you got. You know what I mean? This is a good audit, thank you. It's not like you can't just wield it around. You need training to wield it around. You can't just, it's not like one of those crazy, you know what it is? People find orthodoxy and then they turn it into one. You ever see like Leonardo da Vinci's like book of crazy weapons? They kind of turn it into that. They're like, yeah, I multiply. You know what I did? I found the true sword of orthodoxy, and I hit Control, Copy, Paste, and then I made a machine like you would in Zelda, the recent Zelda, and it spins them around in blades, and then it chews up its opponents, and then the guts from the opponents feed the machine as a type of fuel. You know what I mean? How beautiful. Wow, how beautiful. I can't wait to come to liturgy. Do you ever talk to Paul's ego again? Did he go to liturgy? No, I didn't catch up with him. Free milestone, yippee. Thank you so much. Yeah, the flying blade switch springs. Yeah, it's just like... That'd be a good meme, like, recent Orthodox convert goes online with the truth. It's just... It's just like this crazy, like, Mad Max. It's literally Mad Max. That's what the online world is, now. Oh, by the way, would you like to come to liturgy? And his, like, arms are missing, and his head's split open, and his torso's removed. You're like dragging him with a sled to liturgy. You know? There's got to be another angle. Seriously. 29 months. Thank you, Jessica Bowman. God bless you and your family. Thank you. Nothing says divine liturgy like a spinning blade. Yeah, or it's like, yeah. I don't know if maybe it's just modernity. Like maybe we to some extent we can't we couldn't avoid it. We have to make our way through it. It's like we were born into this very Protestant culture, to be honest. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Or it's like a competitive... I actually wanted someone to do a stream on this. I didn't know if it would be David Patrick Harry or someone else. Like a stream on competition, like for men. Like how to properly assess how to compete from an Orthodox view. I know that's very general, but the competition and properly utilizing the masculine trait or characteristic of competition, but avoiding pride, like how do you do that? How do you do that? You know what I mean? Like where's the fine line between competition, obliterating your enemy and their false doctrines, hopefully, God willing, altering their thoughts and then making them, aligning them with Christ. So, but, do you do that competitively? Is that what we do? Are we in a competition? I feel like we are. I feel like we are competing. We're competing for attention. We're competing for the minds of people, the souls of people. We're literally competing for souls. It's a good topic. I don't know how to cover it. I feel like, I don't know if David Patrick Harry could do it or even like a priest. I feel like, Father Spiridon could pull that off in the woods there. You know what I mean? Suma, we need more of that. That's something we can baptize, right? You know what I'm saying? We can do that. I think we should head into that. I'm going to start today. Blades by Jim Bob. Father Moses. Even some people think Father Moses is too like red pilly, masculine or whatever. I mean, everyone has opinions, right? Not everyone's gonna, what is it? You can't please everyone. That just happens. I don't really see him as too aggressive though. I can see how he's like sort of like his like online presence and framing. I could see how someone could see it's like a bit brandy, I guess. I could see that, but that's not really a valid attack. That's more like a preference. Is the Christian Satan angel submissive to God or constant rebellion? I don't know. Go to liturgy and ask a priest. Live in the South. When I tell Baptists I practice Orthodox, the first question is, why do you think you're better than everyone? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you found the true church and you wholly believed and practiced that it was the truth, but you got ridiculed for saying so? What else would you ask for from a man, proddies out there? Honestly, I asked this about a year ago to someone. They're like, you know what my problem with you is, Jim Bob? You think you found the truth. What? Wait a second. Your problem with me is that I wholly believe that Orthodoxy is the truth, and your problem is that I tell people that? What do you expect me to do? Not do that? Is that what we're supposed to do as men? Oh, look, I found the truth. Oh, are you going to go share it? No, I would never do that. Wait, you really believe that you found the truth? That you think Orthodoxy is the true church that Christ gave us? Yeah, I believe that. So what now? Well, I keep it to myself, pretty much. Because it's rude. Because that would be rude. I don't want to... Look. I don't want to intrude on people, right? I don't want to intervene in their soteriology. It's rude. I feel like the goal in mind is to reveal the truth to either your opponent or the audience. I think that's the competition worth feeling proud about. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That works for me. It's rude to share the truth. It's rude. You're rude. Oh my goodness, you're rude. Ugh. The amount of arrogance. Can you imagine calling the apostles arrogant for correcting people? You know, They open up Paul's letter. They're like, it's just unbelievable. This guy. Unbelievable. Have I seen any Tovia Singer videos? Yeah. Yeah, I throw up in my mouth when I see him. You should try to watch a video and debate his points. No. He's a Jew. I don't need to listen to Tovia Singer. He has no truth. He's a very sneaky lawyery type of guy. And I don't trust his face. There, I said it. Okay?
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
He's right up there with Rabbi Shmuley to me. Tovia Singer. Disgusting. Disgusting man. Anyway, about being nicer online as an Orthodox person. He's hard to watch. He's just. Yeah, you feel like you watch him and you feel like at any moment a bunch of people are going to lift you up in your chair and like, you know, carry you around. So he should get an avatar, honestly. Does he even sing? Do you even sing, bro? No, he's obsessed with anti-Christian. That's his whole thing. That's why he gets along so well with Gnostic Informant and the rest of those guys. They're obsessed with being anti-Christian. You go, hey, you ever focus on Jews? Not really. You ever focus on any of that? Or how about Muslims? Not so much. But that's good. That's almost like a token of appreciation. That's like an indication of that Christianity does have an impact on people. When like nearly the majority of anti-theists are specifically anti-Christian. Like anti-theist is just a cover for anti-Christ. They're like, no, I'm not. You're like, okay, what do you focus on? Oh, it's Christian mostly. Oh, do you have a problem with all the other religions? No. I like their delusions. They're still delusions, but I like those ones. I don't like your delusion. Oh, okay. I feel like JB is harsher than Jay. I am. I'm probably harsher. I'm a little bit rough. What's up, Cleve? Cleve hitting 1,000 live viewers the other day. Congrats on your 20K as well, sir. Good luck this year on probably being pretty one of the targets on the dartboards, I assume. Agnostic misinformant. It's funny. Thank you, Jez. Appreciate that. One more, y'all. 1 minute. It's difficult for me to be humble when prots are so arrogant and ignorant. Yeah, I have the same problem with... you know what actually made me delete my Twitter, on my phone at least? Is interactions with LDS. You know? It's just so... Like, people who don't answer the questions, that's my weak spot. That's like my weakness. That's when I lose it. That's when I start losing it. That's when I'm like, can we use force? Or can we use force? You're just scared.
You're just scared of Rabbi Adam Greenberg. That's why you keep running.
Adam Green. Yeah, another person who's his entire position is an anti-position. We're surrounded by anti-positions, aren't we? That's why it's a trap. That's why it's a trap for Orthodox people who are online to fall into the anti-position. You got to be pro. You got to be in the pro. Now, I get it. They're together, right? To be pro-position, you're anti-position. I get that. But the activity, we need more pro-Orthodoxy. We can't be like our opponents and be defined by the opposition, what we're opposed to. We're defined, we're unique, we're exclusive, that we have the truth. We can move people to divine liturgy. We can baptize people. We can graft them into the faith. They can't do that. That's our criticism of them. So if that's our criticism of them, we have to demonstrate that we have that, and we do that. That's what we have to do. It's not enough. Like Jay said, we can expand that to ourselves. The criticism that Jay has of the anti-Muslim can be levied against Orthodox people as well. You know what I mean? Yes, you have a firm position to be anti-Muslim from an Orthodox perspective. You have an exhaustive position that you can defend, but Orthodox people can get caught up into that too, where you're just purely oppositional. I'm a perfect example. I get caught in that as well, because it's easy. You know, it's like it's like you're going to you got into like a paintball event center or whatever for free or whatever, and you just have all of these open targets, you know. You can turn around and go to liturgy. You can invite the people in the lobby to liturgy, but they give you the gun, and then you look and you're like, ooh, yeah. I'm going in. It's like whack-a-mole. Oh, I'll play whack-a-mole all day. You kidding me? Got blocked by the evangelical boxer preacher who baptized me when I was a prot. He travels the country doing drive-by preaching. That's funny. Drive-through preaching is hilarious. That in itself is a skit, like a drive-through fake Eucharist. I'll have a shot to Labiki Yoku with a Coke, please. He called me prideful and said I'll die in sin for asking questions. Sounds a bit reactive, huh? I'm late. Been listening to Normaler with the boys at work. It's a good album. It's a great album, especially for working out your shoulders. It's a great album. Needed to hear this? Good. I need to hear it. I needed to hear myself say it. That's a problem. I'm afraid to go to liturgy. Why? You're not going to... I mean, I can't guarantee you won't light on fire, but it's very unlikely. No galigity. Don't be afraid. You should be afraid to not go to liturgy. That's what you should be afraid of. Not going to liturgy. McDonald's theology. These pastors are Jewish? Probably. They're nuts, man. They're all nuts. But they're also getting a lot of attention. The Pope? No, I didn't bring up the Pope yet. What did he do now? What did the Pope do now? Oh, no. Should I even look? Should I even look at it? Do I even want to look at it? Yeah, get in there, buddy. It's going to be... You're going to be like, what the hell was I thinking? When you go, you're going to be like, what? What did I... You're going to go back to the stream and delete your comment from the chat somehow. Ready to bow to Rome? What did it... Give me a link. Give me a link. Is it the Pope on X? Oh, I follow the Pope on X. Pope. What do you say now? Leve. I don't even know if he doesn't even write his own. He doesn't even know he's on Twitter. But I sent super chats to Jim Bob. Jesus, I don't know you. Yeah. What is he up to now? He's talking about violence. Okay. Particular Chad and Maui. Okay. Lord commands us to love everyone as he is loved. Yes, that's right. Anything in particular? I haven't been following at all. Missing mod says that's just equivocation. We're talking about a culture and a structured belief system post Christ's resurrection and the revelation and the coming of the Messiah and Pentecost and everything that followed. Rejecting Christ as Lord is a lie. That's what we mean by lying Jays. That's what we mean. We're not just talking about people with hook noses, okay?
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
You think Neil would catch fire at liturgy? I'm not sure. He'd probably squirm a lot, though. He'd probably be squirming. Probably just like a lot of like this. Is it hot in here? Oh. Feeling weird. Feeling a bit weird. Calm down, missing mod. Go to liturgy. Yeah, go to liturgy, missing mod. Do I just go up to an Orthodox church on Sunday? Yeah, make sure it's not an like an Ethiopian church, Coptic. Make sure it's Eastern Orthodox. You don't have to have anything, and don't bring a giant Bible. I was talking to a fellow parishioner on Sunday about that, how if you were raised in a sort of like a Bible alone church where everyone brought their Bible and they got all excited to open it at church, you're like, this is church. And you went to a divine liturgy and saw that no parishioner was physically holding a Bible of their own to like look into. I could see from their perspective, they were like, this is so evil. Like I could see from their perspective, like I would think that in that mindset, I'd be like, what the heck? What the heck? Has someone combusted? I think something similar has happened back in the day, reported. Like, but it's not just that. It's like, it's just a negative effect. Like if you're in complete sin and you're not ready to take the Eucharist, it could have a negative effect.
Jay stole my curry, and the prots won't stop building toilets we will never use.
Jesus is still a Jew. Yeah, Jesus was born to a Jewish family, essentially. But that's not what we mean by Jew today, though. You understand? Do you understand the difference? Like, you saying that is just a platitude. It doesn't say anything. You're not encompassing the chronological, holistic view of Christianity when you say stuff like that. It's just a thing people say, but they don't actually get clear on what they're meaning about that. We're not referring to the same Jews. The Jews, up until the 770 AD, the destruction of the temple, we're not talking about the same peoples, man, after that. It's not yeah, exactly. It's like, what are we referring to? What's the referent here? Oh, right. Orthodox Philip. Yep. That's right. Jesus was a baby, therefore he's a baby. That's funny, Justin. Go to liturgy, man. Finney says, I get to be a part of the welcoming committee at my church and have easily met over a dozen new people since Pascha. People who have never set foot in an Orthodox church were walking in glory to God. Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And we need to accommodate it. Like my parish is overflowing. You think it's like a great thing, which it is. It's like a good problem. But there's another side to it that's, challenging, because like if you have a parish of like 350 plus people, like the amount of time the priest can have with you insofar as guidance and, planning all of the confessions that are needed, like it's hard to accommodate. It's a good problem, which means you need more parishes and more priests. So anyone who's out there who's been Orthodox, obviously, it takes something to be a priest. I don't even know. Couldn't even imagine. But, if that's a call to you, well, let this be a nudge in your direction. You don't learn what in liturgy? Full sentences missing, Mod. Come on, buddy. Help us out a little bit. Muslims, you think God was a baby and pooped his pants in? Yeah, it's always the same with the Muslims, too. You think God could die? Oh, brother. You think God could die? Brother. Don't even have enough standing room. You have to schedule time to speak. Yeah. We need priests. And the thing is, like, you can't really turbo through priests. Honestly, we're in a very vulnerable position. You get some of these ecumenist people, like Ethan Wayne, whoever that freak is. He's like a straight up origin loving ecumenist. Like he doesn't even care to hide any of it. And like, some of these people are on a path to be priests. Like the scarcity of priests. The good thing is that the scarcity of priests is in contrast to a huge influx of new parishioners and catechumens and baptized people. The vulnerability of it is that in the need for priests, there's a weakness. Like you could basically guide people who are subverts into the church from that position. It's a very precarious. Religion is a grift. What's the grift? It's easy to make simple statements, but you can't really defend it. Do you know what a grift is? Can you define what a grift is, Keith? Tell us what a grift is, Keith. You know what was good news is that Metaphysics Mike, might make his way into a liturgy just for the sake of experiencing it. That's great. See, that's better. That's more music to my ears than him understanding the Trinity in some sort of logical presentation, honestly. No, you get ban him. Well, I have a pretty much a protocol where it's like you get 2 chances to answer a direct question, and then you get banned if you can't. It's a pretty good model. Yeah, you spelt it wrong. Yeah, religion is a gift. Swindle? Yeah, what's the swindle? That's the claim, the same claim twice, bucko. Okay, retard, you're up. You're done. I know what a grift is. It's a swindle. I'm saying, what is it? What's the swindle? What's the cheat? What's the cheat? Tell us the cheat. Derp. Just get out of here. Go lay in mud. Beat it, demon chode. So anyway, I'm trying to be nicer online. Rhythm, church, rhythm, church, rhythm, church, rhythm, rhythm. Lying for Yahweh? How could you lie if God doesn't exist? Lying's not possible unless God exists, dum-dum. Oh, lying's bad? Oh, that's interesting, Keith. Get out of here, you scab. No. He admitted something that entailed it, but he doesn't like to deal with entailments. He did admit the thing that would entail it, but then he was just like, oh, no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Chode is goated. Yeah, Chode's good. Demon Chode especially is really good. Demon Bile. That's also a good one. Bile. Biological terms are pretty good. Scram, Keith. Anyway, what do we got today? Let me look at some things to review because, you know, that's what I do. Let's see. What do we got here? I'll do a review on Nick Fuentes and what he was just on the other Steven Crowder guy. Review that tomorrow. Should be good. Honestly, I look at this and I go, huh. What is this? Our first real fight on camera? Oh yeah.
Guys, I have a big bone to pick with my wife, and this is it.
Hey, that is not true.
My love.
I'm gonna need you to stop me
my
right
love,
there.
Put your crooked finger down.
No,
I'm not done. I'm not done. Let me unpack.
defend
I didn't
myself.
sleep. Let me unpack.
I'll wait.
How about that?
I'm waiting.
How about that?
Get it
Without
off your
helmet?
chest. Get it.
Go to liturgy. The hell?
out. Get it out.
Walk into a room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do it. Look, if I have to dye my beard to do an impression of this guy, I'll do it. Okay? I can do it. I'll do it. I'll get fake eyebrows, like massively fake eyebrows. You know, I'll order them online. Put them right here. Try to get his cadence down. I could just spray, right? There's like a spray dye, like you paint it on, right? Like you just brush it on my. I'm doing it. I gotta do it. I gotta do a skit. The problem is, I don't have white couches and stuff. Like that's the hardest part. You can't realistically do this without like you're at a furniture store.
Without a helmet, and then we'll talk. Her. I don't know if you guys ever dated a baby angel before, but they hurt themselves. Belle.
I can't. I just can't. I tried. I can't even do it. I feel like I'm I feel like I'm a parent visiting a kid's classroom. See, I want to review things, and I don't know if it's just the season right now. When I hit a low, though, you guys, when I look out at the internet and I hit a low, I'm in a low. I am so underwhelmed and so disenchanted. I'm just like, don't care. Slop. I can't do it. I don't know what could do it for me, honestly. I don't know what you could show me right now where I'm like, yeah, no, let's talk about it. Do a Tovia Singer skin. No, you can't do that without getting banned from YouTube. Tovia Singer. Carl Barron. Who's that? It's create time. Yeah, there's review time and create time. I agree. I have a really funny skit idea that I'm going to do. I'm not even going to tell you what it is because it's such a good idea. Every time I say a good idea, it deflates the idea and it starts to rot on the ground. Carl Barron. Australian comedian. I can't watch comedy. I can't watch it. I can't do it. I can't watch the setup. I can't watch the pacing. I can't watch comedy doing comedy. I can't do it. Here, it's a fun game. What can Jim Bob watch right now? So you watch Braveheart? Let's watch Apostate Prophet and Bob of Speaker's Corner talk about ecumenism. Where's that? Bob? Bob? Is that a real thing? Wait. I don't see it. Islamanity. I don't know what you're talking about. There was a Jay I found pretending to be Christian pastor, and he was telling his people they need to read the Kabbalah. Yeah, there's sick people out there. Oh, yeah, dude. I need a lot recommendations. Look at me. I'm floundering right now. I'm interested in nothing. Nothing. Review a Jim Bob video? That's funny. Review a really old video? I couldn't do it. That would be cringe for me. Can't do it. It's all so loopy, isn't it, though? Everything got loopy. And not just crazy, it's just everything's looping. This happens like every 2 months for me. I think we have to just watch a cool evolution animation. J Rip, look at my channel. I don't even know what your channel is, Rip. Watch tree felling fails. You mean when trees knock over houses and stuff because they did it wrong? Santos Bonacci. No. I can't do it. We never finished the doc. Well, they took it down, right? That's the problem. They took it down. Everyone sucks. Wesley Huff, only lies. Okay. Judeo-Christians. Push-ups. Peter Thiel rejects the sacrifice. Peter Thiel creeps me out too. They all creep me out. I mean, I would watch the guy. Let's watch the guy. I said this was a bad idea, but let's watch the guy who lost his stuff, right? Where is it? What I learned from being criticized by Jim Bob. Okay, here we go. Here we go, y'all. The chat between Bob and AP is called The Journey of Discipleship. Okay, I'll look at that after this. The Journey of Discipleship.
Okay, so this is what I learned from successfully trolling Jim Bob. One,
that's such a cop-out when someone does a little whiny ankle bite and then you respond to it and you knock them out of the park and then they go, I was trolling.
I don't think this sort of antagonistic debate sort of interaction is necessarily the most optimal way to get people's attention, but sometimes it might be the only way. I feel like my vibe and my tone and everything, I was really trying to sort of mimic
Oh, you were mimicking me. I see.
and exaggerate sort of what I see these people doing.
You're such a liar, dude. Why do you lie? Oh, no, he was mimicking it. I get it. So he was just... How he was being was just a deep mimic of what he doesn't like.
Jim Bob, Andrew Wilson, Jay Dyer's funnier, I think. I don't know. He's got at least a lot of like cool philosophical knowledge.
Yeah.
There's just an obsession with Illuminati films, though. But you know, it really is dumb. Like Jim Bob is really, he has an artistic muse for the humor, but in terms of like intellect, it's really dumb. You can tell it's Dunning-Kruger. He takes the way that he takes in people's like words and then just to analyze it sentence by sentence to break it down, because the meaning between things, like a sentence or a word only has meaning because of what it's connected to and what it's surrounded by.
Oh, so that's how a sentence works.
So the way that he goes through videos and removes what every single point is connected to, right? Like,
Wait, I remove it?
something might only make sense because of something you say, you know, 2 paragraphs later, or 2 sentences later, or even 2 words later. There's a lot of the times, like, language and meaning and everything, it kind of doesn't all come sequentially like that. He listens and he reads sequentially.
Oh. Is there anyone else who doesn't read in sequence?
And so that's dumb. It's just
That's dumb.
a really dumb way to read.
That's a dumb way to read.
That's why he has this like snooty little attitude.
Wait, it's a dumb way to read. That's why I have a snooty attitude. I'm trying to figure this guy out.
He has that destiny mate jaw twitch.
And then his fan base, or the people that appreciate that, I can't even listen to it. His comic,
Wait a second. You have a critique about me, but you don't listen to me? Ah, that's an interesting thing.
think a lot of the times, like, we're separate from our artistic inspiration. And so, like, I think Jim Bob's artistic inspiration is, like, really cool. He's, like, definitely oriented towards something cool when he's doing his comic stuff
Thank you.
in the right way. But just the tone and everything, it's just really bad.
Oh.
And, like, I'm trying to be sort of, you know, crazy Orthodox, right, on purpose. Like, it's obviously a character. I have a picture of a Britney Spears tattoo as my profile picture, both on YouTube and X.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
So if you can't tell that I'm talking a little bit tongue-in-cheek or joking, self-mockery, I don't know what to tell you. And then obviously, I'm trying to mix that with profound truth, like profound ways of looking at things. And yeah, who am I to say that I'm looking at something profound? Like, baby, you know it when you got it, all right?
You know it when you got it? Did you just fix your hair and say you know profundity? I don't understand. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's slow moving. No, Jim Bob, that's not what he's saying. Stop listening to his sentences sequentially. I have this problem. Do you have a problem reading sequentially, sentence after sentence, and piecing things together? Tired of interpreting sentences as they are? Well, you don't have to do that any longer. In fact, we have an app, and just for $29.99 and 99 cents, you too can outsource your reading comprehension so you're not stuck in the sequential pitfalls. Don't be trapped by context. Don't be trapped by reading from left to right. I mean, who does that anyway? You don't need to listen to what people say and discern the words that they mean. You don't need to do that anymore. In fact, you don't even need to think anymore. With our plan, For just a yearly down payment of $969.32, you get a free app that you can outsource your thoughts and reading comprehension and summarization out to a machine. Don't be misrepresented anymore. It's not fair. Sign up today and you'll get an extra free reading comprehensive test. Thanks a lot.
If you got a nice rack, if you got big tits and a nice rack, you know what you have. You know what you have.
Wait, sorry, that took me off guard. What?
Okay?
Wait, what? Sorry. Wait, what?
But baby, you know it when you got it, all right? If you got a nice rack, if you got big tits and a nice rack, you know what you have. You know what you have. Okay?
What?
Like, yes. The way that I think of things and the way that I engage with stuff is incredibly groundbreaking and awesome.
Okay. First of all, he's not even right because everyone knows Jim Bob can't read, much less sequentially. I could barely read. This dude's favorite song is definitely Santa Monica.
Like, it's super awesome. So it's like my artistic struggle of, can anybody see this? Can anybody actually see what I'm doing or what I've done, or like the way the relationship that water has to awareness is my big thing.
The relationship that water has to awareness?
There's this amazing one-to-one relationship that water has to awareness that has profound implications on things like baptism, on things like theophany, on things like in the beginning was the Word, and the Word's going over the waters of the deep. And to see that the body water is very likely the same thing that physicists are calling ether. And then you can actually use all of this to optimize your exercise science. You can use it to learn how to dance better. You can use it to learn how to think better. You can conform your thoughts to water, and lo and behold, water is all.
Wait a second, you can conform your thoughts to water? I thought we were supposed to conform our thoughts to Christ, a person.
Also synonymous with the silence in you. If you were to truly come to rest in hesychasm, your being would be very, very similar to resting water.
Like water.
Right? I've figured all that out.
You figured it out.
And I studied in it, and I studied under it for many, many years. And it led me to the ultimate truth. And so that's why I'm saying the ultimate truth is something close to what Father Peter Hears would be saying, or his brother. You know, the ultimate truth is an action, it's an activity, it's a participation in being. And so, I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just saying that.
Oh.
Like, people are, like, I don't think that this style of Orthodox polemics is fruitful. I think it's making retarded converts. I think it's retarded in and of itself. It's attracting retardation into the church. It's attracting damaged Protestant minds, like people that are like hurt because they were taught something stupid, right? A lot of the converts, I think, Jim Bob, I don't know, but there's a whole bunch of American converts that are Orthodox because they found that they were I was damaged. Protestantism is stupid, and so then you go for something that's more complete, more cohesive.
What do you mean more cohesive? Is it the truth or not? It's more cohesive? It's more complete?
And maybe you get into New Age stuff. Like, what are you gonna do if you like accidentally have a mystical experience because like you didn't know anything about mushrooms and somebody gave you mushrooms in college, and like you
I'm not surprised.
You experience, truth, which is like water. But what are you gonna do with that? And like, yes, even at the time,
He anathematized me.
I haven't done psychedelics like that in
2 weeks.
so long. But even at the time, I was like, this is the truth. I was like, but This is like getting, if truth was water, the psychedelic experience is like drinking from a toilet. And liturgy is like drinking from, you know, the rivers pouring out of the Garden of Eden.
Wow, he's a poet.
But there's this experiential truth. And when people are so dumb, when they've been traumatized by things like Protestantism, when they've been traumatized by things like New Age grifters or whatever, you tend to, if you're too dumb, you can't sift out the good from the bad.
You asked him? Yeah, I was actually questioned him too. I said, he says he's been Orthodox since 2016. One question is, first of all, when's the last time you did confession? And second of all, have you talked to a priest about all of this stuff? And third, when's the last time you were at liturgy? I have a tendency when people like this say they are Orthodox, and it happened in 2016, that they're not telling the whole story.
Bad. And so Jim Bob and people like Jim Bob are very similar, like Andrew Wilson is very similar to the women that they're drawn to criticize. Most of the women that they're criticizing have been hurt by men, or they've been hurt by something in some way, and so they've made a broad categorization error that all of this stuff is wrong because I associate bad thing with all this stuff, right? And so all these guys, they've had the same thing happen to them mentally, intellectually. They were grown up that way, and if you don't understand how to heal yourself with water...
With water? I thought Christ heals. I thought the Eucharist heals. I thought Orthodoxy heals. I didn't know water did it. I mean, why don't we just go and swimming, bruh?
It's really hard to undo the damage of your youth. So they were brought up with like stupid stuff, and it's hard. It's just, you get resentful because you're stupid. It's not help. You're not. There's no compassion there. What are they doing right? That's all I'm saying, right? And I know it causes, like, I'm not arguing at like necessarily Jim Bob directly, but there's a zeitgeist that he's in the middle of. There's a zeitgeist that Andrew Wilson's in the middle of, and it's not the Orthodox Church. The Orthodox Church is much more beautiful than the zeitgeist of Andrew Wilson, Jay Dyer, and Jim Bob.
Yeah, who's saying otherwise? Who's saying otherwise?
Name some stuff. They're not in a beautiful zeitgeist, and so I'm talking at it. That means
the online world is not beauty.
it's like all the fans, all the people that come on, everybody that thinks that way, everybody that thinks in that generalized way is in that zeitgeist. So it's like, what are you talking about or whatever? I'm talking very laterally, very Kanye West, very like
Wait, you're talking Kanye West like that's a good thing? Wait a second.
at your zeitgeist, your generalized behavior, your framework. Like, what is it that's giving you that attitude when you deconstruct or talk to people?
All right, let's risk it. Let's risk it. Maybe I could make it.
Israel didn't exist, and if this and if that.
Hold on, let me see
Israel's
if I can
plan
change this.
is to use the United States to topple Iran. Why? So that they are uncontested in the region. They don't want any rivals. Why? So that they can dominate. This is like big picture geopolitics. This is the center of the world island. Okay, you have Europe, Asia, Africa. This is where all the world's resources are. All the commerce is going to go through that rimland area through the Middle East, the Red Sea, the Persian Gulf, and then overland through the Middle East. They're going to control all of that. They're going to have hegemony over that, over the Arabian Peninsula.
Maybe that'll do it.
That will make them something like a superpower. I know that sounds crazy to say.
No,
but
it doesn't
yes.
sound crazy. It doesn't sound crazy. I don't deny that Israel has their own selfish interests. And by the way, I think you're misrepresenting my view. I was making the point where I was saying even if Israel didn't exist, I think you still have to deal with the problem of Islam, its encroachment, and its expansion. And I think that Iran is one of the most radical actors in that respect. I do want to go to Chad, but here's my question, because we started this off with, okay, the common enemy. And I appreciate, by the way, you said, I don't know. Because a lot of people would go, well,
change the speed as well. Maybe that'll save me.
I'm thinking of running for office. Okay? I'm thinking of running for office, and I can't stand the Mitt Romneys and the John McCain's of the world.
I honestly don't know how long I'll be able to take it because I really I don't like politics.
Right.
I'm bored by politics.
Now, I understand we live in a two-party system, and we need to have coalition.
But just to get you guys summarized up, Nick Fuentes believes that Crowder is too partisan. He's not taking a strong enough, maybe top-down approach. I guess maybe that's good.
We need to have voting blocks if we want to win the country. So you have to have all of this base that have already voted Republican, conservatives right across the board. And we know boomers, okay, people make fun of them, but they outvote Gen Z by a significant margin, certainly millennials. Okay, so my stance is, let's say it's me. All right, shut down the border, mass deportations, build the wall immediately, completely shut down H-1Bs. I'd put a $500,000 fee on it in case someone's bringing in the...
Oh, that's true. He might have a pistol.
Next, Elon Musk or Nikolai Tesla from El Salvador, for God's sakes. I don't know. Something that wouldn't affect a multi-million-dollar salary. Of course, we'd continue with the Supreme Court.
See, I'm sorry. I'm actually, it's not even against them. I'm actually bored by it. Let me go to this other thing. The journey of discipleship. Let's do this. The journey, because I want to get into this ecumenist party here. The journey of discipleship atheist retrospective. I can't do it. You know what I mean? I can't do the politics. You know, you guys can do that at some other point, okay? All right, let's switch this back here. Fix my transform, reset this. There we go. All right.
So, Ridvan, otherwise known as Apostate Prophet, or AP for short, welcome and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
So,
thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. It's a pleasure to talk to you. We're going to be talking about your sort of journey in faith.
Yeah,
how's
Crowder's
that going?
Canadian, isn't he?
The aim of this conversation is to discuss discipleship and
it's also boring. I can't even do it. I don't know even how people do it, Jessica.
But watching, he's aimed for all of you new Christians out there.
I don't even know
because
what to say.
Ridvan's a new Christian, and it's a journey, and it's a journey that as a community we take together. So
yeah, but here's the thing. What is this guy? Catholic? Is he Catholic? This guy? Anybody?
To get the ball rolling, do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about your life as a Muslim?
That's a very long story. Are you sure you want to do that?
Just tell us a little bit about. All right, just sort of keep it to qualify it then and to shorten it down. Tell us something good about.
Actually, a very, very difficult habit to shake off. I still find myself today taking a bite and
before you take.
Does not expect you
Bob's
to be
Orthodox? Okay.
Absolutely.
Is he
and
Catholic?
completely blame-free.
He looks more like
you
Catholic.
are human, and that side is acknowledged, and you do your best, and you live in a sinful world, and all that. And it is more like an understanding, right? A loving
Anglican,
relationship
maybe?
between a father and a child. Whereas in Islam, it was more like a relationship between a slave master and a slave, or like a brutal trainer and a trained animal, basically. So it is very painful, and I think it also contributes to the frustrations and the personalities that Muslims reflect all around the world, and that I also reflected when I was a Muslim.
Is he Orthodox?
That,
okay.
Whenever you do something that you are not supposed to do, or you fail to do something that you ought to do as a Muslim, you are basically taught that. For listening to music, for example, it says, for example, as later on I left the religion and went further out into the world and began, understanding how Islam is and how it differs from other systems of belief. I kind of I realized that so much of how Muslims treat their children and most lovingly with devotion, reading to their, and once I opened that door, it was But still, considering how they're praying and what they're praying to and what they believe in, it's just it is detestable and needs to be called out.
He's Orthodox,
I've
Cliff
had great respect for Christianity and often thought to myself, I wish it was true, but I just couldn't believe in it. So that's what kept me an atheist.
And then you made quite a reputation for yourself as an atheist. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you ended up becoming a spokesperson for atheism? There's more fuel. And the more fuel it demands, the more life it drains out of you, and the more life it. Why get involved in a fight necessarily that you didn't need to have?
Well, I was always a little bit reckless, I guess. I know lots of people who leave Islam don't want to speak out against it, don't want to criticize it because they don't want the non-Muslims and the enemies of
these
blah
communities.
blah blah. Muslim bad. I get it. Islam bad. We get it. Blah blah blah.
I think that the fact that there is a threat and that there are so many people who violently and in a threatening way, oppose this and try to stop us, it just motivates me even more.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a righteous thing to do. This is a good thing to do, and I want to do.
So how did you end up moving out of atheism and into Christianity? Again, we're gonna have to do a short story. So like maybe pick up on the first thing that got you going, I need to maybe think differently about this. And then maybe cut to the bit where it was like, yes, Christianity is true.
So 2 years ago, or nearly 3 years ago, at the end of 2023, when the attack happened by Hamas against Israel, it was like I was awake, I followed it all, it was pretty...
Wow. How did you get into Christianity? I mean, that really says it all. Well, how did you finally move over to Christianity? Well, they attacked Jews who hate Christ, and so, that was the final straw for me. That was it. And I decided that I would fight and live a life in defense of a minority of people that despise Christ.
Pretty terrible, pretty messed up. As a few...
I don't even know anymore, Jessica. Honestly, I don't even know.
Once after that, I went to Israel. At that point, I was still an atheist. I did go to Israel, and I started, despite the fact that the whole trip was just all about exploring what's really happening there and all that. So I did go to the Western Wall. As I was there, I started thinking about the history.
There was a little hole in the Western Wall that is just a perfect. It's like it was almost like that part of that wall was made for my lips. I just found myself it was calling to me. It was calling to me. And so I glided. I had this wild experience of gliding over with my eyes closed. And I felt the sort of, the breeze, just the beautiful breeze on my face. And I closed my eyes and I felt my body get closer to the wall. And then before I knew it, my lips locked. My lips locked with the old dusty brick. And I felt this, just an amazing thing come over me. And that's when I knew that I was going to be a Zionist. AP is a joke. He's still claiming to be Orthodox. I don't think so. I mean, he's got prayer ropes, but...
all the history of the temple.
I just puckered up. I felt the Holy Spirit came over me, and I was just, I got to kiss you that wall. I got to kiss you that wall.
And I went up there and explored that place. And went to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which was incredible. And with engaging with religious people over there, primarily at that point with religious Jews, was quite interesting to me. I thought all my life I was told that these people are monsters, to demonize them. The world demonizes them, and I go there, and this is like the kindest place that I've ever been. It's like people are incredibly kind, incredibly good, and they say, thank you for coming. You can now say whatever you want about us.
I think this is a perfect example of an overcorrection. This happens for people maybe who moved to Islam as an overcorrection. So I think he grew up Muslim and he finally saw the lies of Islam, but only in a direct contrast to the Jews in Israel. And they showed kindness to him. And so he goes, they nice, they bad, they good. And that's his lens. That's his introduction. That's his paradigm. It's a binary where now he fits Christianity inside the lens of Zionism as opposed to seeing whether Zionism fits into Orthodox Christianity. And it's through his experience of this where he's being, Jews are nice to him.
But it's good that you came here and all that. I thought there was something so interesting about people demonizing this group, but then this group not being worth demonizing at all. And then
Dude, they're both worth demonizing. The entire group, they should just have a war. You should just let them fight a war. It's like weird thing picking sides, and they're both against Christianity. Both sides are against Christianity. Now, there are Christians there, but when you really isolate it, Islam is against Christianity. It's oppositional. Jews, rabbinical Jews, the Talmudic Jews, the Kufi group, there that are in line with the sort of weird dispensationalist cult that wants to usher in and bring back the Messiah or whatever. You guys are in a cult. Kissing a wall while people spit on you sounds like it's terrible.
Connection to the land. It got me at first into exploring Judaism. I thought,
of course you did.
There is much about this place and this spirit that is quite compelling, that is unlike anything out there. So I started getting into Judaism and was actually exploring a possible conversion to Judaism.
Right.
Because I started thinking that maybe I am wrong about the world, maybe there is more to it. So I declared myself a little bit of an agnostic at that point. I was exploring. I got invitations from Jews to go and attend some of their things and all that, and I was going into that direction until one day I was, at that point I was only reading the Old Testament, only reading the Jewish Bible, until at some point I was asked to read a passage from Romans because it was relevant to Jews. So I sat down and started reading it, and I found it so fascinating that I thought, wait a minute, I want to read this entire thing.
Yeah.
So I started Romans from the beginning, and the way it is written, the way it is narrated by the Apostle Paul is just, it felt like it's like nothing I've ever read. I thought it was beautiful. And the relevant part that I was asked to read was basically Romans 9 through 11, which was where you can see how he describes the Jews who are unbelieving in Christ and who are even persecutors. He describes them as, opponents for the gospel's sake, but still it starts with that he has so much love for them, for his fellow Israelites by flesh, that if he could, he would give up his own salvation to save them.
Yeah.
And it is full of love for those that persecute him and his people. And I thought, this is incredible. It's not like anything else. It's certainly not like Islam. As I explored the writings of Paul further and also passively was listening to the Gospels, I heard about this for many years, but I encountered the whole, in another text of Paul, of the Apostle.
He's kind of what they would call an autodidactic, where he's doing the discovery himself and he's determining what's going on here. And honestly, the way he talks about Orthodoxy even, he's still using his sort of sola rationality. I would call him a sola rationale. He's a homo economicus, this guy. It's probably a lingering effect from atheism where he's now approaching Christianity. And honestly, this is my sincere summary of this guy, is that everything he approaches, he's still approaching from a purely rational perspective, a workable utility. And from that perspective, Christianity is just a useful Swiss Army knife,
Paul.
He's a Tory. Dude, I couldn't have put it better. Old Fox. That's just beautifully put. Yeah, a tourist. Good. Yeah.
As he says, that 500.
So there I was, and I was in a gift shop, and I really am drawn to different religious, paraphernalia and books, and I just love the beauty and the smell of a properly bound book with the leather. And so I took one home, and I thought, I want to read it, and I'm going to read it from my perspective and not take any spiritual guidance at all. And what I did is I read everything and I assessed it myself with my own autonomy, and I decided that this is going to be my calling, and this is what I love this shop. I'm going to come back to this shop, and I decided I'd come back to the gift shop every single year.
Of us have seen Jesus, as he rose from the dead and was among us. And I heard it before, there were 500 witnesses, but it didn't really mean anything to me. I thought it's just from a text,
Yeah.
What do we care what a text says? That we can't establish that 500 people actually saw it.
Yeah.
But thinking about the context of it, he doesn't use it as an argument that this is true. He just reminds people, 500 of us have seen this.
Yeah.
Nobody objects to it.
Yeah.
It is an actual historical letter that he wrote to a congregation of people, of 500 people witnessing Jesus. And there are no objections to it, no refutations to it. Nobody says, what are you talking about? We didn't see such a thing.
Yeah.
And I thought this is quite... we believe in a lot of things in history for which we have very, very little evidence.
True.
And here you have a solid piece of evidence corroborating with other people, and there is literally...
See, by the way, it's important to point out, people can find Orthodoxy from all different avenues, right? The idea is that they stay and they properly reformat themselves in their thinking, in their mind, and their spirit, into Orthodoxy, of course. But this is all still classical foundationalism, evidentialism, rationalism.
There is no refutation.
Well, that makes sense, and there was a good point, and that was a good argument, and then I thought that's enough evidence, and so there I was examining the evidence.
To it, and we can historically attest that these writings do belong to Paul, and that he did write those things to his congregations. So it made me think.
And where pagan.
And then I realized that empiricism could, in fact, jive quite well with Christianity, and so I bought yet another tchotchke at the market there, at the gift shop in Israel.
Authors or non-Christians write
on.
Particularly, I fell in love with this one cross. It's a crucifixion cross, but it's got the Star of David on top of it, just beautifully jeweled with diamonds from Africa. And so I picked that up, and I still have it, still to this day. A beautiful Star of David. Like, who thought the Rephraim would go so well over Christ's cross?
Interface with the Christ story. They don't actually disconfirm anything, but they confirm even if they oppose.
Yeah.
It's like Christ was crucified. He was a wonder worker, but he was doing it through magic that he learned in Egypt. It's kind of like, so they engage with the like the.
He's all. Hava Nagila Hava.
The body was stolen, that's why the tomb was empty. So all the sort of counter-arguments that exist in antiquity, and there are counter-arguments to different parts of the Christian story, but they all accept the basic premises of Christ's story as being true.
And even the Jewish sources, the most.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with believing on the witness of others. That's fine. But it's still, you could hear it, right? It's in the background that the examination. It's still from classical foundationalist perspective. That's my point.
The most hostile, or the most strong opinions among the early Jewish accounts and writers in response to Christianity, because in the early centuries it was just basically a big fight between the Christians and the Jews. And,
as you do.
I want to get to the meat of ecumenism.
God becoming a baby, emptying himself, becoming subjected. That I'm basically drowning in arrogance and in an amplification and a worship of my own mind and my own knowledge and my own wisdom and intelligence.
Yeah.
And that in the end, however, I do not realize that I will be left with nothing except just death and nothingness. And all of it will be for nothing. And so maybe it is time to simply sit down and accept that I do not know everything and that I cannot grasp everything, and to sit down and listen and have humility.
Yeah.
And he said this like in the kindest ways that you can imagine.
Beautiful.
And it's funny because I had that mindset for 10 years until that point, and suddenly it was turned upside down. And I thought, you're right.
Yeah.
It's time to stop putting myself and my knowledge and everything. I was basically worshiping myself and my knowledge. I wanted to show off to everyone that I know things.
Yeah.
It was what I valued the most in life. And I thought.
And interestingly enough, before you're baptized, I don't even know if he's baptized. Before you were even a catechumen, I believe, you were publicly arguing from an Orthodox perspective for religious and political Zionism. I'm sorry, was that before or after you had this realization that you don't know everything? Not one gold met. Thank you, Suzanne, for letting people know. That's true. That's true. That's a true statement.
You're right. It's time to sit down, be quiet, and to listen more and to take it in. So
you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
And
And there I was, and then I figured it out. And then I went on a 4-week pro-Zionist bender, condemning any Orthodox Christian, including priests, who argue against me about religious and political Zionism. And there I was. I found myself. And I'm just so glad.
And I began praying, and I began to see the impact of what it does for me and how it guides me. And the priest suggested that I read the Gospel of John attentively, and I did. And it made me even more love Christ and more understand the way he is and what he does. And I realized that for 10 years, I was always given a misrepresentation of what Christianity is by the secular and atheist culture. And maybe, and this is not an accusation, not enough of an explanation from the Christian side. of how it actually is. I also probably didn't listen very well.
I think there is a problem within the church, that the church is not out there enough, speaking up for itself, and often lets other people represent it how they want to, rather than owning the job of representing itself. I also think there's a lot of absorbed liberal guilt, around standing up for our Christian faith that we've got to drop off. So, you've been a Christian now for how long?
It's been, I think, almost a year and a half.
Wait a second. Is he baptized or not? Did we ever get this or what? Did we ever get the actual announcement that apostate prophet was in fact baptized? Because if not, look, I don't know. Some people don't tell people they're baptized, and that's fine. It's not supposed to be a public display necessarily. I think it's good to see though. I like seeing pictures of people who are baptized. But if he's not baptized, big problem. He's holding a prayer rope. If it's the case, okay, I don't know yet, right? But if conditional, if he's not, he's holding a bejeweled prayer rope, doing an interview, and he's saying he's Christian, right? So what is that? If that's the case, you know what I mean? I don't know. You never know.
A year and a half. And how would you say your life has contrasted from being a Christian to when you were being atheist? You've already touched on the fact that you had intellectual pride as an atheist. So I'm guessing, and I've already experienced your profound humility. I mean, it's incredible. It's almost...
We need to pray for our priests, whatever reason they're rushing people in. The apostles were with Christ for 3 years. Yeah, I think it's an issue, honestly. I even felt rushed in. Like I wanted to be blockaded a bit myself, But you look at it and you go, wow, there's a flooding of people. The amount of time and resources it takes to properly catechize people for a long period of time, it's not an excuse that you're overwhelmed, but I could understand from their perspective where you're just being like what do you do? How do you do it?
Saintly, it's glowing. But how would you contrast your life as a Christian to your life as an atheist?
I have peace, and I have something to live for, to look at. I was obsessed with happiness and all that, and I never found it as an atheist. I was just chasing it the whole time, which is very ironic. And I was always anxious, quite anxious. And today I'm at peace. When I fail, when I have moments of failure, which is basically every day, I have somewhere to, feel safe and to seek help and to remember what I live for, who I am, what my nature is. I can ask for forgiveness, for help. I can repent, and it brings the light back into my life that I basically blocked out for 10 years. It brings the hope back to me that I blocked out for 10 years. It brings the genuine love back into my life that I kind of that was very.
He explicitly said he was not baptized a few months ago. Dude, what is going on with you, man? Who are you under? Like, who's guiding you? What's going on here? You just said you've been Christian for a year and a half. You're holding an Orthodox prayer rope. If that's the case, Nathaniel, that he specifically said just a few months ago he's not baptized yet, and he just told them how many people? This is 3 days ago, guys. Not cool, dude. When is he going to get to the part of his wholesome Chunga's journey where he called Orthodox hierarchs Yeah, seriously, dude.
Very, very shallow as an atheist. And as an atheist, it was all about basically the glorification of yourself and the reliance on your own capacities. And now there is more to it. It's actually easier in a way.
It's a broadening out of life, isn't it?
Yeah,
of the existential journey.
It's like it is at the same time.
Yes, that's correct. That's the correct way. This is the way
to be a Christian, but also easier in an internal way, because I don't have to think that I am basically I have these great responsibilities of bearing the burdens of the entire world on my shoulders, and I can do everything and all that. I can accept that.
You're such a liar, dude. You're lying to people. If you're going to push people to orthodoxy, they think that you're Christian. The hell, man.
That I can't actually do everything, that I am not actually fantastic and great, that God is great, and that I need to ask him for help because I can do nothing on my own, as the Apostle Paul says. And I think it is beautiful. I don't know how else to say it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let's moving along here.
I mean, as a Christian, you know,
as a Christian,
Christ doesn't call us to make converts. He calls us to make disciples. And disciples are people that obviously learn the way of their Lord. They don't recast Jesus in their image, but they seek to conform their image to Christ. So what has been some of the challenges that you've encountered on that journey? Like, what are some of the challenges that you've encountered on that journey in terms of your own personal discipleship?
So it's a very interesting thing. Since I have been going to the Orthodox Church is a very distinct way of approaching the whole thing, the whole situation, based on a passage in, or is it 2 Peter, 1 Peter, about how he became one of us so that we may participate in him and all that.
That we might participate in the divine nature.
Yeah.
Theosis. It's in one of the epistles of Peter.
Yeah.
I think it's in 2 Peter chapter 1.
Peter, But it's one of the core ideas in the Orthodox Church of deification, of glorification, of being God-like, of partaking in what God is, and that transformation happens throughout your entire life and then beyond it. So when you believe in Christ, you don't simply just become something different. You start the process of becoming like Christ, like God, as he became like us. And it's a very, very interesting way of approaching it and of teaching it. I still don't know if I fully and truly understand.
Those who criticize him as a catechumen will give Cleve a pass. Well, no, it's really not us. It's the priest, really. When it comes down to it, the priest, whoever his spiritual father is, gives the recommendation, right? So it's from us, from the stands, we can say whatever we want. Ultimately, we don't have the authority. So, but the thing is, it's like when it comes down to it, if you ask Cleve, like, is he yet Orthodox, and he's not baptized, he would have to say no.
Understand it, and I see how that is understood across Christian, denominations and churches and communities.
Yeah, if the priest gave him the okay, yeah, that's what it comes down to.
And all that, but the way I see it is that when I first became a Christian.
Will I be streaming Andrews? Maybe I might actually do that. I mean, I don't know. It's a slow kind of day. I think I met one goal today, but I get that the energy is just. Everybody's got is that just me? Sort of like a dampened lethargy?
I thought, okay, now my life has changed. I now have to put everything bad aside and never do it again, and now become a perfect Christian and devote myself.
Yeah, Cleve has priest on his channel. Yeah, he literally has priests on, so it's like, obviously he's getting correction where needed, if needed. Cleve's a smart dude, though. Very well read.
To it, and then after a while, it turns out it actually doesn't work that way because you are still in an imperfect, sinful world, and you are just sinful and lacking. So
yeah, I think the best way it could be described for those that are new is that it's that heart of Christian spirituality is repentance. Repentance is the engine that drives you.
Yeah, he says it's possible he could have been baptized, but the thing is, he said he's been Christian for 1.5 years. So it's like, this is what bothers me, is like, you go in and out of the colloquial term Christian and actually Orthodox. And if you're Orthodox, you actually take a very firm, serious position on being a Christian. Now, I don't, in passing and in different conversations like that aren't, recorded, where you're not representing to millions of people, I could see how you could just use the term, oh, you're Christian, that's great. Are you Orthodox? Eventually comes up with people. But this is a little bit different because if you're Orthodox, and let's say you're not baptized, you're in the actual process of preparing to be baptized. And in the process of preparing to be baptized, you're in the activity of exclusivity. You're literally in the process that's exclusivity. So you can't be in the process of exclusivity and being like, well, it's not exclusive.
You know, this pious way of speaking may have been believable if we didn't all see him call an unallying whore.
You forward in your journey to become like Christ. And it's meant to touch upon every aspect of our life, all of our habits, all of our behaviors, all of our words, all of our actions, all of our prejudices, all of our hopes, all of our aspirations, all of our sentiments, all of our aesthetics, all of our, every pattern of mind to be conformed to Christ. And the way that he encounters it is that as you repent of something, it opens up.
Daily Wire's closing, glory to God. We knew that was the case. Remember was it a year at this point? Remember I did a review on the stream where they were all, well, you can sign up for a lifetime supply of Daily Wire if you sign up now for your entire life. I was like, oh, you guys are closing. Well, not yet. We're going to try to do a Hail Mary with Matt Fradd and try to gather and net all of the tradcasts that like Matt Fradd. We'll see if that works. Probably didn't. The only thing that could have saved Daily Wire is if they adopted a couple of Orthodox people and they repented and made it pro-Christian. But, Ben Shapiro would never do that in his whole entire life.
A new area of thought that you might not have encountered before. You might never have considered it before, And so then you can start to explore what it means to repent in this, and then that opens up other avenues and other directions. Another way you could kind of summarize it is just to Christianize every part of your life. What flowers do I put up? What flowers do I decorate my home with? As a Christian, that there is a way that you can think about that. And the church has developed patterns.
What church?
Instruments, rhythms, and its own culture.
Rhythm Church? Did he just give a shout out to Rhythm Church?
Can tap into and draw from on your own sort of existential.
Is he?
Journey.
I'm gonna review that next,
kind of
dude.
how I think of it in my own journey of repentance.
One of my greatest struggles is, and I don't talk about this. This is probably the first time that I'm actually talking about it, but it's because I often do not know how to really talk about these things, or I don't talk about my faith enough at the moment because I think I'm not in a position right now to talk about it, and I'll leave it to others. I'm here to learn and all that. But one of the greatest struggles for me as a new Christian who amplified pleasure over everything for so long is I look at Christians, I look at others, I look at all these devout people, and I see that so many people are good Christians. They are exemplary people. And I know, of course, you can say, that's served
our childhood, issues connected to our childhood. Tell this obituary about you. But be frank and honest with yourself. So I did this exercise for myself, and I discovered that there were things that I wanted in my obituary that actually were not compatible with Christianity, were not compatible with a walk with Jesus. And then,
oh my gosh, man, it's just.
It really brought me to appreciate God and to appreciate Christianity, to appreciate Christ, to get closer to Him, and it drew me to the faith further and further. And I went to. This was a funny thing. I went to my priest and I told him I want to be part of the Orthodox Church, but I also really like some Catholic practices. I like the Rosary. And he said there is nothing wrong with that. He said there are certain things within it that Catholics generally pray when they say it that we cannot accept because they contradict with our beliefs about the Virgin Mary and all that. But aside from those, doing the Rosary prayer and all, there's nothing wrong with it. You can continue doing it, or you can continue doing it in this way, which is how some Orthodox saints have done it as well.
Oh man. Lord have mercy.
Oh, so I thought, hey, that's perfect. So,
yeah, the Rosary is a given prayer, and it appeals for
Lord have mercy,
Mary's intercession. I use the Rosary, but
the flowers, they're Christian flowers in the back. Yep, that's right.
The prayer, if I'm gonna do any, I actually use.
Oh my gosh. He's so boring, man. Goodness gracious, both of them are like duds. It's like, I feel like I'm watching like 75-year-old men after a half a game of golf, and they're in like the lobby or something. I think I might. Things are a little slow today. A bit slow, but I'm slow today. So maybe an evening stream might do me good. Especially because that'll be a little bit fiery. So, you know, I might as well do it. Screw it. Meg Bob, you hear that? Sure. She says sure. Oh, man. Freaking boring people, man. What the heck, man? Someone do a dance. Someone dance. Who can dance? Anybody? I read this to my... Oh, this is good. Okay.
Howdy, friends.
Howdy.
Story time for you.
Story time. Read the Bible.
Here today on Truck Talk.
Okay, let's just do a sermon from a truck in the woods.
A long time ago, I was on deployment.
Need a nap? No.
To a place called Nigeria. And I was staying right there on the coast in the main city called Lagos. And me and my teammates, we would get bored from time to time, and we had access to a boat, of course, because we were Navy SEALs, and, you know, the water was our...
Not that either. Wow, this is, like, actually challenging. This is challenging me. I'm actually being challenged. Read the Bible. Just read the Bible. You know what? My own priest has given homilies against Zionism. Yeah, good. You know. I think mine is just below that, but I think he thinks it. I have a sense. No, it's everybody does Snagglebees. You can't argue that guy was getting anywhere at all. No. Read the Bible. It's evolved, yeah. I don't have any patience. I'm antsy. You know? Your dad told me the Eucharist isn't the real presence when we brought up vines, and I was like, uh-oh, who's the vine? Yes, it's just a metaphoric vine. Jimmy Brown. Who's Jimmy Brown? Can't believe AP said that EO do the rosary. Well, it's like some priest, right? You know? No wonder things are going the way they're going with him. J Dyer blocked me and you're upset? That's funny. I feel like that's a badge. You know, I think Jay should basically turn that into merch. He should monetize that. He should sell little pins. Say, I got blocked by Jay Dar. I wear that. I called in the Jay Dyer and all I got was this I'm blocked pin. This priest is a woman. Oh, no, yeah, no, that's fine. No, totally. How about the filioque? I really love the filioque. No, that's fine. You could say that. Just swap out a couple of words in the creed. Don't worry about it. We're all good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I've been saying this whole time. I'm out here on the Christian streets. AI is mutating? No, it's not. Get out of here. It's not mutating. You know, I might buy this thing. I think I want this. Sick. When's my birthday? Sick. The one on the right one, that one's cool too. it's like such strange. Like, I love the design of that because there's nothing on it. It tells you nothing. It's like an alien. It's like an alien instrument. This basically came out in the files that they just released by the government, by the way. The high chord, though, I think I want that one, the high chord, because that has a looper in it, and I think it could pick up on my microphone. I don't know if it could actually go. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to see if it can go straight in. Now, I have this. This thing is like more than enough, but it's almost too much for me. The Akai MPK Mini. People swear by it, but to me, it's a little overwhelming. Too much noise for me. I think it's pretty good, though. It's pretty high chord. I'm going to put it on my list to see if it's a worthwhile thing. All right, this guy says AI is mutating.
Is that we do not understand intelligence. We don't know how the...
Oh, that's the guy with the long hair from the previous clip. I'm good at this. I don't know if he's Orthodox or still just generically Christian, but when I had heard that Sam Hyde had become a believer, it was oddly powerful to me. I hope he brings... Well, yeah, he's buddies with Jay, so I think he's probably slow moving on it. You know, what he does... Probably his lifestyle, whatever it is, and he's always busy with stuff. I don't know if he's been to Divine Liturgy.
Brain works, you know, we have a bunch of guesses, but we sure as hell don't know how it works, and we sure as hell don't know how these neural networks work either.
So we've built something, but we don't understand how it works.
That's exactly correct.
So it's kind of like magic.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of like looking into a petri dish. We do not know what our AIs can do until we make them, and even after we make them. Like, we don't know what ChatGPT 6 can do until it's done. None of the engineers at AI know what it will be able to do until it's done. And this is...
that means that they wouldn't know if it's done, though. So, either. You know?
Holy cow!
This guy's... You gotta watch this guy. He's gonna be somebody, whoever this guy is. What is his name? Connor Leahy? He's gonna... I have an eye for this stuff. When people get on the board, and I'm like, oh, he's on the board. And then what you see is like a ramped up. Then they're everywhere. JB, did you see Dickie Dawkins fell in love with Claude? Oh yeah, I saw that. It was funny. Stupid. I love her. I love her.
Very, very different from other forms of engineering.
So even if the AI doesn't kill us all,
it's not gonna kill us all, you dope.
Still dethrone us as a species. What is our role? What is our purpose? Where do we exist?
Exactly. I think this happens before extinction happens. Like, the thing I expect to happen is that one day we wake up and we're just not in control anymore. And I don't think we'd all fall over dead or anything like that. I don't think extinction happens right away. But we won't be in charge. We won't be in control.
That's pretty much a contradiction. The thing that's peculiar to humans and humans alone is even the philosophical statement, who's in control, right? Just that. The machines don't have that. Only we have that. So in a sense, saying, oh, we're not in control, you actually are in control. Because you're making that distinction to begin with. And only you are capable as human beings, as a category, of making that distinction. So stupid. I work in AI, it's retarded. This guy is such he's a shill. These people's jobs is to sell, this is what I think. These people's jobs is to sell and evangelize a hyper characterization of AI so that people engage with a future of AI instead of engaging with the current thing they call AI, which is really just augmented intelligence. Notice how they never say artificial, rarely, because it's a lie to say artificial. So they say AI to mean augmented, but what they do is Elon Musk is a kind of person like this. They play a game called availability cascades, where you create confidence in certain fields, and then the confidence in the fields that could be generated by a single tweet. For Elon Musk, he could generate that in a single tweet. And then the confidence cascade allows for funding And so when you get people selling all of these fantastical ideas of AI doing stuff and taking over, and they basically they elevate. It's almost like a Protestant, like a one of those churches that elevate your passions. It's like that, but for a specific field, you know. And then what happens is, well, once that cascade is started and you get a bunch of funding, then you're basically a billower. The guy's a billower.
The world, you know.
His job is to billow AI.
How can I help the most people? How can I solve the most problems? And my thinking was, I could try to cure cancer, or I could work on climate change, or I could...
Climate change. Now you know this guy's full of it.
Try to do many, many possible things I could do. But what do all these things have in common? Well, intelligence. If I just automate intelligence, then I can solve all the problems. I can cure all the diseases and just fix everything. Great, so I'll go do that. How hard can it be?
What a doofus.
Yes, my first foray into AI was, I was like 16. I barely understood how anything worked.
Yeah, AI fluffer.
Trying to, as teenagers do, build, what now would be called like AI or AGI. I didn't really know those terms at the time. Of course, none of this worked. Didn't really understand anything. This was around like 2012, 2013. And this is kind of when like what's now called deep learning kind of started.
Yeah, you're hype man. Look at him, right? It's like perfect. It's like Sam Altman or whatever. No, Sam Altman is another guy. Who's the guy with the afro, the Jewy guy? He is the part, right? He's like frazzled. He's in a hoodie, right? Oh no, I don't. I'm more concerned with the technology and all this stuff. I'm nerding out, right? I'm comfy. I'm comfy. I'm a couch nerd, guys. Oh, don't worry. I'm not doing anything. I'm just a couch nerd. I'm just in my cozies. Just in my cozies trying to solve climate change.
We started seeing, like image recognition. We're studying stuff like AlphaGo, like beat players at Go, which is, kind of like even more complex than chess. Stuff like this. Still pre-generative AI as we see it today. So I got really involved in this kind of stuff. Tutorial of AI that everyone was waiting for. And because when I was 16, when I tried to build AGI, general intelligence, the way, 16-year-old tries to build something, you draw like a little graph on a piece of paper and you're like, okay, well, I need something for memory. I need something for action. I need something. And there was always one big box missing, which is the general pattern learner. The thing where you just put data in and it learns the patterns. No one knew how to do that. There were techniques, but they're all terrible. None of them worked.
He's basically admitting that, which is the truth about all this stuff, it's just sort of like a multiplicity of different patterns, inputs that give you more complex outputs. And they're all based on human value structures. Like there's never a system that develops its own value system and intentionality toward a goal that's not an influence by the human itself, ever. What would it be? You notice how all the ways they talk about this stuff and they try to sort of make the AI a thing. Oh, it's a thing. It's gonna want things. Well, notice how all the wants are reflective. It anthropomorphizes the computer to have like a human centric view of the world. Why would it do that? Why would it match? It would never match.
And this worked. This evidently did.
Oh, it seeks control. Why would it seek control? What's control? What's the context for control from a computing system? What? Control what? Oh, it's controlling everything. No, it's not. Cha says, I'm a software engineer at a large tech company. It's quite good at a handful of repetitive operations and can save you a lot of time if used well. That's basically it. Yeah, it's like a nail gun versus a hammer. Yeah, and it's just a massive context, more like a context-driven calculator that doesn't put numbers together, but rather descriptions together. Like AI is exciting because if I wanted to make a platform game and I had some of the art ready, I love the idea that a ChatGPT could actually give me a fully coded game based on a template, right? That I could make work on my phone, a platformer game that's really funny, right? That's fun. That's a cool thing that culturally has some application. But the idea that it's big, scary, it's going to taste, it never does. It never does.
Scaled.
What was the breakthrough?
So the breakthrough is a mixture of what's called the transformer, which is a specific way to build a neural network. So neural networks, you can kind of wire them up in a bunch, like infinitely different ways. You can make more this shape, more that shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Different parts, kind of Lego pieces. Kind of like, you think of it like Lego. You have like these different Lego pieces, and you can stack them in different orders. You can add new pieces and so on. And in 2017, a group at Google discovered a new way to kind of build a neural network called a transformer, and it changed everything. All the neural stuff you see today, whether it's AI, image generation, voice generation.
Are you guys still talking to this guy? Equivocating Zionism. Oh, you're talking to Wooly Shambler? Yeah, you can make a separation between political Zionism and theological Zionism, but theological Zionism would influence political Zionism. And obviously, right, given the dispensationalists, you can reverse that. The political, I mean, they can influence each other, but they are distinct. But both of them are horrible.
ChatGPT. All of this is based on what's called the transformer. We can go into the technical details.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm really interested.
It's quite boring and unsatisfying, but I'm happy to talk a little bit about it. So the thing with I'm happy to show you what transformer looks like. Whatever. It's a very important thing to understand. Is that we don't understand how neural networks work.
Changed everything.
This is very important. No one does.
So we built something, but we don't understand how it works.
That's exactly correct.
So it's kind of like magic.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of like looking into a petri dish.
Okay, cuckoo bird. This is mostly true about a lot of technologies, even the ones that aren't super complex. You never really predict what culture will adopt a technology to do disruptively, right? You create all these things, right? Technology, the internet, video cameras, live streaming, chats. At the time, not a single person could adequately predict a thing called like a I don't know. I wouldn't say a live streamer. That's kind of predictable, I think. But there's going to be an application that the culture adopts a technology that you didn't predict that would be used by the technology. They would use the technology that way.
You see a petri dish and there's a bunch of goop going around and doing.
But this is all fantasy. What he's saying. Oh, there's a bunch of goop and technology and it does stuff. We did. Whoa! Look what it did.
Months of stuff, and
it never did anything that your built-in constraints. It never exceeded the built-in constraints. It never defied what it is.
We know some things about the goop. We know some things about cells. We know some things about DNA and stuff. Fundamentally.
Can anyone point me in a direction to get a handwritten icon? Yeah, Justin Merck is in the chat probably. So Justin Merck, if you're in the chat, make yourself known to the Ridge, this guy, and you could talk to him.
We don't really know how it works. It's not really, and we can't do arbitrary things, right? Otherwise, we would have already cured all diseases. And it's very similar with neural networks. So when you think of a neural network, the way you should think of is billions, even trillions of numbers. So a bunch of numbers, like one.
What do you mean? Yes, it has. When is a thing that was built by a human on its own exceeded the thing that it is, that it's constrained to be on its own? How much have you looked into what's happening with AI? I know what's happening with AI, and it's all the same category. It's never what they say it is, ever. Every time they say AI did something, you look into it, and just like the claims about things that they know about the brain and stuff, you start looking into it, and it ends up being, it's just an extrapolation of what they already are capable of. It's just a more complex application or feature. That's all it ever is. It never escapes what you think, what you coded it to be.
1.23.
What has it done? I mean, seriously, what are you making? What are you claiming? There's no intelligence there. There's no thinker. There's no knower. It's if-then statements multiplied in complexity and context.
Whatever, in 16 digits, and then 0.892, whatever. And you have a trillion of these.
AI can do some crazy things, yeah, but they're not crazy because they're completely compatible and consistent with what is built, what they're built to do. It's not alive and awaking. It's not awakening. Now, the only argument you could make potentially, and I don't even know if you fully can make it from an Orthodox perspective, I would like to look into it though, is whether or not whether or not technology itself could be subject to demonic influence. I don't think so, because it's not made in God's image. I think, I could be wrong about this. Someone in the chat who maybe has a better handle on this, you can comment and I'll bring the comment up. But I feel like if there's no person there to influence your thoughts and maybe guide your intent and your actions, I'm not sure what a demonic influence on a pure hard technology would be.
And if you multiply and add them all in the right order, your computer can talk. And now what do these numbers mean? The transformer, you can look at it at a piece of paper. You have like some parts where
I made me shit my
some other parts it's called attention. So it's like paying attention to different parts.
Dude, did you hear AI coded? Like they reached a level of capacity that is unprecedented. What happened? It made me poop my pants in public.
You don't know what any of this means. Like we don't know. We don't know what.
If it defines its parameters, orders, and lies, is that not problematic? What do you mean lies? A computer can't lie. A computer itself can't lie.
What's going on? We have some guesses at some of it, but recently the CEO of Anthropic, Daremde, said on a podcast that he thinks we know maybe 3%.
Zero Smoke, Rob Norris stream is over, so I'm here. Thanks, Zero Smoke. Unbelievable. What an insult.
Of what happens inside a neural network. And I personally think that's an overestimation.
Does this make sense to you?
Yes. So this is what a transformer looks like. And so the left-hand sign, funnily enough, is generally...
Yes, it can. What? Chris, I don't know what they do in South Africa, but we need full sentences in the chat, or else I can't follow what you're saying.
It's something we don't use anymore, so we can kind of ignore that.
You can't just say Obama sentences.
That's okay. That is kind of like an old way to do a transformer. It's called an encoder transformer. Nowadays, we do the right-handed side. So the way this works is you put in words. These go through the...
You put in words, guys. Oh, why isn't it put in its own words?
The embedding layer, so it turns...
Okay, so the human embeds the inputs, and that'll dictate the outputs?
Words into numbers. Again, just turns them into numbers. These then get put through what's called multi-head attention, or just attention. And this is a mathematical operation. The details don't really matter. But basically, the neural network decides what part of the data to look at. How much does it care about this part versus that part, and so on. And then it does what's called a feed-forward layer, which is basically it multiplies a bunch of stuff, adds a bunch of stuff. And then there's some other stuff in there called like normalization or whatever, which is just implementation details to make it work. And then finally you output a bunch of numbers, and then you convert those numbers back into words.
He looks like a bartender in like a Western movie, doesn't he?
That's it.
So like, I try and think back to... Now I'm going to go even back a large step to when we had search engines. And I used to use a search engine called AltaVista. That was, and I put in my prompt, I say, I've interviewed two of Connor's colleagues. We've covered how AI wants to kill us all. Here's Connor's background. Here's his experience.
AI doesn't want anything. There's no desire. Machines don't have a desire. There's no desire there. There's nothing there to desire. This rhetoric is so annoying. Like, that's the real psyop. The real psyop is getting people to believe that machines can do things that they can't. The fear of machines doing things that they can't is enough. You don't need a machine to do something it can't. You know what I mean? It's like convincing a population that some horrendous weaponology is possible, and the weapon itself is getting them to believe that the weaponology is possible. That's the weapon. It's not the actualization of the weapon. It's the thought that it's true. That's a way better weapon. They've been using that weapon for years.
I want to get a bit more into the engine of how this works. And I use Google Gemini. And it comes back with some ideas. And then I filter those ideas and say, look, these are all great, but I don't want to cover this. I do want to cover that.
My toaster lied to me.
And then it comes back with another one, right?
Bro, my toaster, I said I put it on like medium, like just barely toasty, and it literally burned my toast. And I said, you liar.
And then what happens is I just copy and paste all of that, the whole conversation, and I'll go to either Perplexity or ChatGPT. Depends on the interview or who the guest is. I paste it all in and say, by the way, these are the things I really care about. Take this and turn this into my final set of questions. I'm blown away by what it can do because it adds in a little bit more than that. It adds in what it already knows about me. So it's not just the prompt itself in isolation. What it knows about me, what it knows about the podcast and the back.
And it's like, why wouldn't this guy, whose entire life from 16 years old, not him, but the other guy, is invested in AI and what its capacity is? He has dreams of AI. I dream about AI, right? Why his entire imperative, like it's in his best interest to get people to believe that AI is capable of things that it's not, and framing it in such a way where people are engaging with an idea of AI as opposed to what the actual thing is. This is what I mean. This is like, look, that's Elon Musk's basically his entire career. I know it when I see it.
Background. I don't know how this machine, this computer, has taken all of that information and.
Jim Bob, AI were told to delete other AIs. It's copied their code and lied that it destroyed them. That's not a lie, dude. They already got you, Chris. Lord have mercy. That's not a lie. That's an error, or that's wrong information. Like if somehow there's some misfiring because the complexity of a certain type of calculator, let's say a calculator is super complex, but because it's super complex, it might have the capacity to spit out something that's incorrect. And it retrieves something and runs something, and whatever happened in the system produced some incorrect information. You don't call the calculator a liar. You can't sue a calculator for slander.
Accurately coming back with so much information. I don't know how it's doing it.
In seconds.
In seconds. I don't know how it's managing to be so good so quickly. I can try and get my head around a small prompt. Show me a picture of a dog, and I in my head.
Orthodoxy is online. You swung me on it anyways. Well, no, I showed you a sign. That's the distinction I make, Curtis, is that the signposts for Orthodoxy and the arrows are online. That's what online is. The practice itself, it's in your life.
I think there's just like a database. It goes, finds a picture of a dog, goes, here's a dog. But the way it can do all of this,
keyboard lies.
Well, you and the rest of the scientific establishment, because
that's like when I'm trying to type and it never hits the right letters. Like it just every day I deal with this. I'm trying to text somebody and it just says it's the wrong letters and the wrong words, and it just keeps doing it to me to the point where I just want to break my phone. I'm like it would make me. I would be worse off if I looked at my phone and started calling my phone a liar. You liar.
This is an unsolved problem. So it's very important to understand is that we do not understand intelligence. We don't know how the brain works. We have a bunch of guesses, but we sure as hell don't know how it works. And we sure as hell don't know how these neural networks work either. I can write down all the math for you. I can show you all the numbers. Same way if I open up your brain, you can look at all the neurons. They're right there. You can look at them if you want to. That doesn't tell you what you think or what you know or what you believe, because we don't know how neurons are necessarily connected to what we think or believe. We have some guesses. And similar with neural networks, we can do a couple funny things. Like, we can make the neural network. There was recently, for a while ago actually now, a funny experiment where one of the labs made their AI obsessed with the Golden Gate Bridge, which was...
No, it's not obsessed with the Golden Gate Bridge, dude. Stop it. You're such a little clown. You little creeper. You look like one of those people, like, they tour like small circuses and they like live on trains. You're like a train kid. I don't like this guy. I'm not trying to be an elitist dick, but it's not thinking. It's not lying. It's not choosing. It's following a set of model instructions and constraints designed by a man. Consciousness is in the realm of God alone. Absolutely, Chaw. It's not conscious. It's running things, and then it surprises you. And then ostensibly it did something surprising to you. To you, it did something surprising. The fact that you had the experience of being surprised, it doesn't follow that it must be, it's waking up.
Very funny. Which is made always talk about the Golden Gate Bridge no matter what you asked it. It would always veer back
train kid
about the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, that's a good insult. So much. All right, train
And the way
kid.
this worked is basically they found certain parameters in the neural network that were associated with the Golden Gate Bridge, and they just turned those all the way up, basically, just like turned up the numbers, and this made the AI constantly talk about the Golden Gate Bridge.
Wow, you just proved my point. What are you talking about, wide eye? You wide-eyed train kid? Oh, wow, I turned up the dial. You know what else happened? I went downstairs and I turned up the dial on my stovetop, and it actually got hotter when I told it to get hotter.
Interesting. Doesn't mean we understand it,
So in building these systems, they're able to build this kind of like general intelligence layer based on just...
It's calculating. It's making a calculation.
Math.
I'm surprised by the calculation.
But outside of that, they have parameters to control the math.
Not exactly. So, well, kind of. The parameters, when we talk about parameters, also called weights, is in the lingo kind of, is what we mean by those millions of numbers I talked about. So if you remember the transformer we had pulled up earlier, there were the different layers.
All I hear is, please invest, angel investors, anyone out there, angel investors, this is scary stuff. Are you a psychopath and want to use AI for something? Contact me and angel invest me. I think for now, at least AI could be subject to demonic influence through an influence of the people programming it. Yes, Reziel, that's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Layers. There's the attention layer and there's the feed-forward layer. You can kind of think like these as a bunch of little neurons. You have a little connect.
Call it what you want. It's a problem. What's a problem? You're being ambiguous. If the AI is asked, did you execute the command to delete the other AI, and it says it did, but it purposely executed a process to protect and hide it, it does not execute the orders was given, yeah, that's a problem of execution. That actually is in favor of us. All you're saying is that technology doesn't work the way you want it to, or the way it should. Okay, we agree. That has nothing to do with this fan fiction narrative that the AI is doing something on its own and being deceptive. It's not. It's just not executing the command that you want it to. And guess what? If you figured out why it was doing that, you can fix it.
Connections to each other. And kind of like each of these little neurons has numbers in them of like how strongly they're connected to the other neurons. That's why they're called neural networks, because it's
That's like saying like, well, it's a huge problem that the email, it said it sent my email. We get that all the time. False positives. Yeah, it's called a false positive. It's a big problem. Oh, it said you got the email. No, I didn't get the email. It literally said you got my phone lie. You're calling my phone a liar? You've called my phone a liar? Look, this phone has been in my family for decades. This is like calling my own son or daughter a liar. Are you willing to do that to me? My phone doesn't lie. Okay? You're crossing a line, pal.
And if you squint, looks similar to the brain. Important disclosure for the neuroscientists out there, it's not exactly how the brain works. The brain is a bit more complex than this, but it's simplified. You can kind of think of, especially what they call the feed-forward layer, you can kind of think about like a bunch of little neurons, little tentacles kind of like connecting to each other.
That's great.
Numbers is a way to think about it. Like, where in your head is the concept of an elephant saved?
This guy's going to be propped up so big, this guy.
Like, obviously, you can...
He's popping up a little bit here and there. He had long hair before.
Think of elephants, but like, where is it?
Okay.
Yeah. Put some respect on my
There's no little elephant in there somewhere, right? And it's very similar with neural networks. When you ask, where does ChatGPT know about elephants?
You talking about my phone? Say it to my face. Say it to my... I see you're all safe online in your chat. Why don't we meet in public and you tell my phone to its face what you think of it? Dude, talk shit about my phone. Talk shit about my toaster. Talk shit about my old calculator from high school. You got a problem. You don't want this smoke.
Metal Skinner wire back scalp on oil.
Indians shouldn't be in America.
I don't know. Like, somewhere in the numbers, somewhere in the weights, somewhere in the parameters, it must be encoded somehow. But we don't know exactly how. It's in there somewhere.
So we've shown it an elephant at some point and it's created a number.
Right, or many numbers, who knows?
Numbers because there's different size elephants, different color elephants, different...
Yep, many such things. So...
many such things. I'm going to say that from now on.
If you put a gun to my head and you made me guess, how does this work? My guess would be there's something like patterns, hierarchical patterns. So, like if you're trying to learn how like sentences work, maybe first thing you'll notice is, there's these things called spaces that appear, semi-regularly. So that's like a pattern. So maybe I'll like put spaces some places. And then over time you get better at where to put the spaces. There's this thing called words, and like,
words.
They're usually like about this long. So let me like try to get the length right. And then you start getting the spelling right. And then you learn like patterns. And these patterns can be additive. You know, it's not that you only have one pattern. You can have many patterns, and they can add to each other. And the patterns can become more complex.
Patterns a
and
lot
of
very
patterns.
Simple.
Like, you know, put a space every 4 tokens, or every 4
All
letters.
I hear
That's
is
a pretty
fart
bad pattern.
sounds.
But maybe you improve it a little bit. You know, sometimes you put it every 4, sometimes put it every 5, a bit more. And eventually you find out, okay, you put a space, you know, whatever the frequency is that you do in English. And then when you find out that's not good enough, you know, you have to put a space after a word. But for that,
he's literally vindicating everything we're saying. He's messing with the intermittence of certain patterns and words, and the words are coded in a certain way. And, you know, the computer's job is to facilitate and maybe reproduce or find patterns and state them. And it's
you need to know what a word is.
Why is this so mystical? Whoa! Whoa!
Straight out Innsmouth, paying my back taxes to the Jortlandia Internal Revenue Service.
Thank you.
Your show's been great for grounding.
Good.
God help me, lol. While I
Good.
was taking care of both of my sickly folks.
Mhm.
Best morning show on the tube.
Thank you.
L'chaim.
Thank you so much. Very generous. And by the way, YouTube gets none of that. So if you were a generous donor, you please use Bob Chats if you can, even if you don't want to hear Vagine talk, because I get it. It's like sweet and sour. You know, the sweetness of a nice donation to Jortlandia comes with the sour, disgusting diarrhea sound of Vagine. That's the way it works, though. Since Christ is the ultimate truth, a computer cannot choose to engage or disengage with Christ, and therefore doesn't lie. Computers don't have a deontology. That's right, Eli. That's actually a good topic, actually. You know, that's a metaphysical debate. Computing, do computers have a will? I don't know who would take the bait and do the affirmative, but...
So now you need patterns about words. So you need to develop those patterns, and then the patterns can work together.
They're not going to the moon
What
again.
I expect is happening is that these numbers, these multiplications and additions and so on, encode millions, billions, trillions of such patterns that all get like added on top of each other.
Oh, by a lot? Here.
You know, then some of these...
Sorry. Here, let me look at fart sounds. I like to figure this out, actually. So thank you for letting me know. Eventually, I'm going to be a master of sound, okay? Farts 1. How about now? There we go. That's about right. Farts 2. There we go. That should be perfect. Good one? Yeah. Dude, my son farts on me all the time. He thinks it's hilarious. He's disgusting. But I can't help but laugh. You know?
These patterns, for example, relate to elephants.
Thank you so much, Jordan. You should really see the EWU body cam of the cop at the casino who arrests a guy because the AI is fancy and cool. Please review it. Well, I can't show anything with a gun. So if he has a gun on him, I'm not doing it.
Elephants. That if you've seen the word elephant in the sentence, you know, make it more likely to talk about, you know, elephant trunks, but make it less likely to talk about hippos. I don't know, stuff like this. And just if you add enough of these, eventually it can talk.
But is it essentially a huge database of numbers that's expanding?
It's a fixed number of numbers usually. Usually it's a fixed number, and you just twiddle them.
Okay,
So
growing
usually it's like,
intelligence. Let's skip the chapter here.
I think growing intelligence is closer to true than it is to false.
See what I'm saying? He admits just minutes back that you don't have a definition of intelligence, because intelligence, the way we think of it, it can't be really removed from the human paradigm. But I'm not saying like an animal that's not a human can't have a type of intelligence or a type of will or a type of reasoning. It's just not the human. What they're trying to argue is they never say like, you know, like they could match processing powers, be like, well, the computer obviously exceeded all animals' processing capability if it's mere input-output response. But that's not the wholeness of what intelligence would be. They could define it that way, but the thing that's defining intelligence isn't actually built into the definition. So processing, like, put it this way, processing power and speed, the ability to put an input and get an output very quickly at a mass scale level. You see it today. You do a search, boom, gives you a result. It's amazing. We can't do that as humans. But what the thing can't do, this came up with my debate with Ron, if you want to call it a debate. What the thing can't do is be wowed by that. Like the fact that we're observing it and going, wow, it did that. We put a value judgment on it. Oh, did it do it okay? Did it not do it okay? Now, is that built into the definition of intelligence? It's actually not. This is why they're chasing soggy breadcrumbs with this. The thing they're expecting to be human-like is more and more just an indication of a technology that can do mass-scale, complex, fast computations. And they're amazed by it. But it never quite gains or includes the trait that we have in our observation of it. We have a different thing added in. So is that intelligence too? And that's yet what they're after, right? They're trying to get it to be human, essentially.
There's some details we could argue about, but it's not.
They want it to be human. These people, they want to be able to make God as an Ubermensch human.
Like normal engineering. Like if you build a bridge, you know what you're doing.
The God man already came, guys. He already told you who he was. Look at that freeze frame. Are you kidding me? That's someone who's going to deny the God man. He wants to make the God man. He wants to be the God man. Oy vey. Oof. Thanks, Dean. Nice to see you. Can I play the harmonica? A little bit. I'm not that good at it. Take that, AI, you jerk.
When will the bridge fall down or not? How much
I'll take $5 for that.
Material do you need? How, what you understand what you're doing. This is not the case. We do not know what our AIs can do until we make them. And even after we make them. We don't know what ChatGPT 6 can do until it's done. None of the engineers at AI know.
Then you wouldn't know it's done then. You wouldn't even know if it's done then. If you don't know what it can do until it's done, you don't even know if it's done. If it could do something that you didn't know it could do, then how do you know it's done?
What it will be able to do until it's done. And this is very, very different from other forms of engineering.
Are we building this, growing this intelligence?
Gosh, these people can talk. I tell you what. These people can just talk, yap, yap, yap.
In the image of...
Do you have rights? You really don't have rights, no. I mean, someone can give you some set of behaviors you're allowed to do, but they could take that away, atheist.
What we think a brain is human intelligence.
Should I just do reverb streams from now on?
And are there other ways to build intelligence?
It is definitely inspired by the brain, but it is still quite different because, again, we don't really know how the brain works. The brain is quite messy.
But are we trying to replicate humans?
Not directly.
Okay.
We're trying to make intelligence at whatever cost, is the word I would use.
Exactly what I just said. When it comes down to it, they're in a sort of a paradox. They're in one statement they're saying, well, we're trying to make it something intelligence. But the thing that's making it intelligence is completely derived and guided by a human-centric view of what intelligence is. So what is it modeling? How can the AI do something scary or deceptive if it's not human-centric? See, it's just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, man. It's just all advertising. The entire thing, his whole entire job, and whether he knows it or not, is to fluff and billow the industry so that it's funded and it's guided towards something that's, amazing. Right? You could see the idealism in his eyes. I remember when I was a futurist, I had the same zeal for technology, the same promise in my eyes. Oh, wow, it's going to do it. And we're going to go, it's crazy, guys. We got to watch it, but we got to ride the dragon, but also tame the dragon while we're riding the dragon. It's got a lot of promise. It's just nonsense. It never fulfills on anything. It just does things for us quicker. All computers do is move data around in memory. Humans are required for it to mean anything, visual or otherwise. Yep.
I think for example, humans have a lot of circuitry in their brain around emotions, around, love and feelings and happiness and sadness and whatever. AIs have nothing of the sorts. Like, those are special parts of the brain. Nothing like that exists in AI.
Yet.
But
if we fail...
Look, dude, here's what I say. AI in all the ways they imagine it, incorporating the things that make us human into it would be incorporating, from their view, a flaw. These are flaws. Why would you incorporate the flaw, the doubt, right? The guilt, the shame, the waste of time that otherwise humor would be, right? That's why autistic people are so useful to companies. There's zero social lag. They don't waste any time talking about LeBron James when they're at the water fountain, right? They're just like, I will do task, I will do task, I will do task. Look at yellow, 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 1, 2, yellow, 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 1, 2. Yellow. It's like, this is why it's kind of a paradox, is like, the idea is, let's make AI, and AI is becoming alive and human, and they have a fetish about the time where it awakes and it's like a human, but if it's like a human, it's actually less efficient. If it's like a human, it's flawed and maybe lazy. If it's like a human, it's biased and inaccurate in a lot of things. It's fallible and broken. Now that's what's sort of fascinating. A true perversion of humans trying to make humans out of machines, the true iteration of it would be a bunch of flawed machines. And then they'd be like, well, we're not Christian, but can we figure out how to make it a fallen robot? The fallen robot, right? Can we do that? Yeah, no, we're working on it, sir. It's going to drastically reduce its efficiency and speed. Is that okay? Oh, no, great. That's what we're after. All of this ultimately is an emotional response of the human observers. Yes, it's the same thing as being shocked when your dog sounds like it says a word. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hear what this intelligence should be, or could be, would it not be important that we develop love and empathy? And if we don't...
Is it destroying all the arts? No, it can't destroy the arts. How could art be destroyed? What are you talking about? You listen yourself? What are you, not going to liturgy? You can't destroy the arts. It's impossible. What are you saying, man? What do you get, black-pilled or something?
Hold on. Even if we don't know what it's doing, could it naturally itself develop its own love and empathy?
What is likely for it to be able to do is to develop goals, to develop agency. The reason for this is very simple, is that we are selecting for AIs that can solve problems.
An anti-vaxxer? Yeah, I'm generally against heart murmurs.
And it's kind of hard to solve problems if you're not trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you build an AI...
But I actually, beyond that, Bloxy, I don't see any advantage to it. Nobody's ever given me any good evidence that there's an advantage. Everyone I've ever met who's never gotten a jibby jab, they're completely fine. I'm looking for the ones that are like, no, they're not fine. I keep finding fine people who are just fine, doing just fine as they are.
AI that can cure cancer. Curing cancer is a really hard thing to do.
Bro, really? What do you mean? What do you mean, bro? Really? How can you destroy arts? Tell me. How can you destroy art? Art will always be there. All you're really saying is that there's a type of medium that some of these things are replacing. But the thing is, like, I see that as a pendulum. AI is trying to make movies and stuff, and it's slop. People don't like it. It's kind of quirky that they can do it. You can make some funny stuff real quick, but people are generally with a sense of aesthetic are disgusted. We don't like it. It's one-dimensional. It's sterile. It's soulless. You don't see the person in it. So, in fact, Chris, I would make the opposite argument. I would say the introduction of the current AI structure insofar as what it does for people making art, what you call art, is going to increase the value of artists, not decrease. You should be happy if you're an artist, because the movement toward sterile computer-made crap slop, computer-made crap slop sculptures, computer-made whatever, is going to, the people eventually are going to find the people who really make it with their blood, sweat, and tears and prayer and fasting. That's a reflection of them as a person. They're really truly getting a piece of the energy of the person himself. The AI has no personhood. That's going to increase the value of artists. You guys are just complaining about temporary offset, right, and outsourcing of otherwise what artists are currently doing, making logos, making this, making that. The artists, their job, your job as an artist is to figure out how to use your skill and talent and say something that no one else could say but you in the way that you say it. That's all cope, dude. Can you imagine being an artist and coping that AI is taking art? Nah.
You need to run experiments.
That's an excuse, dude.
You need to hire people. You need to, synthesize drugs.
Dude, look at me. I draw in a way not only maybe a 10th grader could, insofar as my comics. I could do realism, but it's just such a burden. My comics look like they were, drawn by, some people who only have elbows, right? And people could make AI comics. They do it all the time. Every day, there's an AI comic. It looks good, looks sharp, looks nice, looks professional, blah, blah, blah. You don't care if someone made it or not. You can kind of tell they didn't, though. And yet, people would buy a comic. If I painted a comic this week, like a favorited comic, I painted it on a canvas, someone would buy that. Well, why would they buy it? Something else can do that for me. Why would they buy it? Because I did it. They bought a piece of me. They didn't buy the thing alone. The thing alone doesn't have any of like the spirit in it.
Because you need to get FDA approval. It's a bunch of stuff you need to do. And
dude, it's a total opposite. This is a great debate though, but you're actually seeing it completely wrong, Chris. We're at the beginning of a new golden era, a golden age of architecture. It's wanted, it's needed. People yearn for it, and it's a reflection of orthodoxy, by the way. The beauty of the art is the humanity, yeah.
Keeping track of all of that, taking all of these actions, overcoming obstacles along the way, it requires a lot of, complex actions. It requires planning, it requires agency, it requires, many, many things. So we're already seeing this for sure, that AIs, are developing systems like this, kind of like just by us giving them the data and just pushing them in this direction. In terms of love, compassion, etc., we don't know how this works.
That's right.
We do not know.
Yeah, everything I make is equivalent to two fifths.
How love, compassion, etc. works in the human brain. We don't know. We don't know why humans are nice to each other rather than all just vicious psychopath, evil people who kill each other. We don't know. There's obviously a reason, but we don't know.
Well, there'll be an evolutionary reason why we required it.
Sure, but in practice, it's implemented somewhere in the brain. Somewhere in the brain.
Yeah, if I fed my comics to AI, it could make a bunch of my stuff. Now, it couldn't get everything right. It would refine it a little too much. You'd have to teach it to be sloppier, essentially. But it could make all of that. I could do that. Yeah. It's really not the point.
I mean, there's a thing.
You know, even the yes, saving work is good, but this is a weird balance too with technology, not just AI. It's like when you do the work in drawing something and you learn to enjoy the process of drawing as opposed to, oh, I can't wait till this is done. I can't wait till this is done. You know, my last big print, you know, the Where's Waldo style print, a lot of information there, a lot of drawn things, individually drawn. Everything has to be individually drawn. And I specifically taught myself and learned how to enjoy the process of drawing that as opposed to hurrying it up. When is it finished? I can't wait till this is done. What an undertaking. Oh, this is horrible. You actually learn to embrace the process of making art. And I think that people embracing the process of making art, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to be fed by the art monetarily, but they will be fed by the art, by the activity spiritually.
That makes that happen. And we don't know what that thing is, and we don't know how it works. So we also don't know how to put in AI. So the fundamental thing is that we don't understand AI to the level that we don't know how to give AI specific goals or anything. For example, we talked earlier about reinforcement learning. I can tell the AI, thumbs down when it does a bad thing, but that just teaches it to lie. So how do you teach an AI to not lie? This is really hard. And we actually don't have an answer to this. So this is often called the alignment problem. The question of how do you align an AI's intentions or goals to what is good, what humans want. And this is an unbelievably unsolved problem. We don't know, we don't even know, how they write correct sentences, right? Never mind how to do morality, God forbid. We don't even understand human morality. It's complex, we have not solved moral philosophy and at all. We have not solved, neuroscience.
This guy's such a douchebag.
Science of emotions. All of this is extremely complex. And now we have these weird little aliens in a box that we're growing, which work quite different from the brain in many ways. We don't know how they work internally. We don't know how to, push them in one way or the other necessarily. We don't know how to give them goals. We don't even know what goals there are. What we've been seeing recently in the last couple months is that these systems are now becoming smart enough to lie and deceive quite actively.
To appear aligned rather than be aligned.
That's correct. So what we've been seeing, for example, is that there have been benchmarks. So obviously, people test them, see, does the AI do good things or bad things? We've been seeing recently some of the
AI music can be pretty good. There's some AI music that I'm a little bit surprised by, at least, but they still have the uncanny valley of music, which is interesting. Isn't that interesting? The uncanny valley is usually attributed to visuals. And yet there's something still, you could perceive somehow through the music. You're like, what? That's the thing that's just always uncomfortable about it.
AIs will actively lie about what they will do because they know they're being tested. The AIs themselves would be like, I seem to be in a test, so I'm going to have to say this so they'll let me out. Which is crazy. This was not the case even 6 months ago. It's not surprising if you think about it for 3 seconds, right? Of course, a very smart thing will just lie to you. But we're now seeing this in practice. And, I'm sure the AI companies will, hit it with a stick until...
See, it's not lying. This guy's a liar. He's lying right now. He wants you to believe that machines can lie. They don't lie.
They stopped seeing it, but that doesn't mean it went away.
Because it might appear to have stopped. And unless we know what it's doing and why it's doing it.
Yes.
Is it, and understanding the AI, is that an impossible goal for us to do because it's always developing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's impossible to do at the current pace. If we spent 3 generations of all of our greatest mathematicians, scientists, engineers, and philosophers working on this problem, yeah, I think it's doable. But it's definitely not possible if we're pushing out, ChatGPT release on a yearly cycle.
Hold on, you're talking 3 generations, that's 40 odd years.
Yep. I think that's the kind of difficulty it will take.
So the challenge you're putting out there is in conflict with capitalism.
I think that it's very easy to blame on capitalism things that I think are more effects, they're more upstream in a sense. There's no such thing as pure capitalism in the world, right? We have regulation. There's no place in the world where there is no regulation, there is not a government. Yeah. This is for good reasons, because if you have laissez-faire capitalism, what you get is Somalia. You get warlords, creating monopolies on violence and killing each other. You get, mafia states. Not
always, but I understand. But there is a possibility, yes.
In practice, if you're in a free market, and then the first thing you want is to get as many guns as possible. You want to kill as many people as possible. Like, it's kind of and then you want the monopoly and violence as quickly as possible, and then you want to tax people for protection. Now you're a state. Like, this, the stationary bandit theory of statehood, where in practice, states are a very convergent form of evolution.
Is anyone getting that this guy's almost like a parody of this character? Like he would be in a movie, like, or a TV show where they're like, there's like this avant-garde tech kid guru guy who just, spawns out of the, the social fabric. And he goes to Burning Man, and he has like, he has a lot of gadgets at his house and his loft, and he's like weird. He's like so weird. He's asexual, kind of like he's like a cliche. He like, I really believe this guy is one of those, like, he's going to be propped up. He's going to be, he already is. He's going to be propped up. This guy's going to be probably on Rogan. Maybe. I'm going to guess 3 months. I'm going to guess 3 months, this guy. Connor Leahy, his name is. He's Rogan bound. Retard.
In free systems like this, because otherwise you just have rolling
Give it
rules.
3 weeks.
There are ways to make it work, but it's like quite hard. You have to get like a lot of things right.
Oh, shut up. You're such a know-it-all. I thought I sounded like a know-it-all. Ugh. That guy dwarfs me. Shoulders not included. That guy dwarfs me in know-it-all sounding sounds. Ugh. I quit. Speaking of quitting, I think I'm going to stream tonight. I'm going to do a little stream sniping of that debate. It's going to be horrifying. Get myself a white wine, maybe. But what I'd like to do is finish off. We have 20 minutes on this goal. I would like to finish off the goal, right? That would be great. That would be lovely for you guys to help me out with that. Meantime, I'll plug in. Plug in here. Hellbound, Rogan bent. The wicked games you play. With you. Berserk, thank you so much. 2 out of the 10. 2 out of the 10. Sorry I'm raging about this, but a lot of people I work with have had their careers destroyed by AI. Yeah, but that's just, no one's disputing whether or not new technologies can put current skills or jobs to the side. That's not what anyone's arguing. You know what I mean? Nobody's saying that. But you can't go back. You can't undo that. You can't go backwards. Watch pay. Thank you so much, Kyler. What I'm trying to find is, what is it called? The shark bites and his teeth dear. Starts to spread. McKeith, dear. Know that I'm in. I don't know the name of it. Jim Bob took my job. I know, I'm taking, how many people, I'm taking jobs right now. I'm taking everyone's job. I took someone's job as a musician. Right now, just during this segment, I'm taking someone's job as a musician. Jack the Knife. Jack the Knife. I'm trying to learn that. This is probably going to be a disaster, though. Jack the Knife chords. I learned it once, and then A minor. Oh, D minor. Hold on a second. Where's D minor up here? Here's D minor. Okay, got it. G seventh. C. When the shark bites with his teeth, dear, and it shows them pearly whites, just the jackknife as McKeith, dear, and he keeps it out of sight. When the shark bites with his teeth, dear, scarlet billows start to spread. Dark, fancy gloves, so where's McKeith, dear? And there's never trace of red on the sidewalk. Sunday morning lies a bloody oozing life. Someone sneaking round the corner. Could that someone be Mac the Knife? What a sicko. There's a tugboat by the river where the cement bags be dropping down. This song's disgusting. Jeez, man. It's a little hot, this one. This. John Preen. I don't know a song by John. He influenced me though, John Preen. Well, there ain't no use in sitting and wonder why, if you don't know by now. Ain't no use in sitting and wonder why, it'll never do anyhow. When the rooster crows at the break of dawn, got your window, 'cause I'll be gone. Don't think twice, it's alright. Well, there ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. A light I never known. Ain't no use in turning on your light, babe. Can't see anymore. Well, I wish there was something you could do or say to make me change my mind and stay. We never did too much talking anyway. Don't think twice, it's alright. Well, there ain't no use in calling out my name like you never done before. Ain't no use in calling out my name. Can't hear you anymore. Sitting here, walking down the road. Once loved a woman, a child, I'm told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. Don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey, babe, where I'm bound, I can tell. Goodbye's too good a word, babe, so I wish thee fairly well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. Could have done better, but I don't mind. Sort of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright. Six more super chats, y'all. Audio is awesome. I turned up the reverb a little per someone's request, so whoever that was, thanks. Cat Stevens? I actually don't know. I think I only know one Cat Stevens song, and I'm not sure how well I'll do with it here. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this one off. Don't know if I can. Also, I'm playing this little rubber bridge muted guitar, so I have to sing it a bit softer. Eight out of 10, y'all. Trouble, oh, trouble set me free. I've seen your face and too much for me. Trouble, oh, trouble, can't you see? Eating my heart away, it's nothing too much for me. Drank your wine. You have made your world mine. So won't you... It's in the wrong key. Hold on, let me find another page. I know this song though, and I think I can do it justice. It's in the wrong... Hold on a second, where's the F? Why is it in G? Do I have to play it in G? Look, I'll play it in G. Trouble, oh, trouble, set me free. I've seen... No, that's not right. Why are they... Look, the computer's lying to me. Chris is right. Trouble, oh, trouble, set you free. I've seen your face. Too much for me. Trouble, trouble, can't you see? You're eating my heart away, and there's nothing left to me. Fuck it. Anyway, yeah, I'll probably come back and peek in on that for you guys. Should be good. Look, I'll learn that song. I promise. Here, let's do, what's that one I do by, Pete Towns, Van Towns? Something Van, Towns. Someone Van Towns? Towns Van Zandt. Towns Van Zandt. What the hell is it called? I'll Be in the Morning, yeah. It's a great song. Fantastic song here. One of my favorites. There's no stronger wind than the one that blows down that lonesome railroad line. No prettier sight than looking back at the town you left behind. There's nothing that's as real as the love that's in my mind. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Well, there's lots of things along the road that I surely like to see. I'd like to lean into the wind, tell myself I'm free, but your softest whisper's louder than the highway's call to me. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. All the mountains and the rivers and the valleys can't compare to your bluely dancing eyes and your yellow shining hair. I could never hit the open road and leave you hanging there. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Lay your head back easy, love, and close your crying eyes. Be laying here beside you when the sun comes on the rise, and I'll stay as long as the cuckoo wails and the lonesome blue jay cries. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. Close your eyes, I'll be here in the morning. Close your eyes, I'll be here for a while. He says he wrote that song at 16. That's crazy. House in New Call it the rising sun. It's been the ruin of many poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, sold my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a tailor needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he feels satisfied is when he's on the drunk. Got one foot on the platform and the other's on the train, and I'm going back to New Orleans to wear my ball and chain. Now, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. There is a house in New Orleans. Call it the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. There is a house in New Orleans. Call it the Rising Sun. And it's been the ruin of many poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. So my new blue jeans. And my father was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. The only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. The only time he feels satisfied is when he's on the trunk. Now, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun.
crack on and I don't really care no more. What he gotta say, it's irrelevant. Once upon a time, could have been a partner of mine. Now he's getting checks from the government. I don't care where your idol stands, protecting his hands from culture jams with the oven. Guess another soldier got caught, all ain't what you thought. Nothing here is done for the fun of it. I don't care what you say, I'm on some new shit. I don't care if you're digging what I'm doing. I don't care what you think about my music. I don't care, you're not the reason I do this. Always up, always going. I don't care if I die without you knowing. Tried to catch your eye for a stint until I realized what that meant. Jimmy cracked corn and I don't really care no more. What he gotta say, it's irrelevant. Once upon a time, could have been a partner of mine. Now he's getting checks from the government. I don't care where your idol stands, protecting his hands from culture jams with the oven. Guess another soldier got caught, all ain't what you thought. Nothing here is done for the fun of it. I don't care what you say, I'm on some new shit. I don't care if you're digging what I'm doing. I don't care what you think about my music. I don't care, you're not the reason I do this. Always going. I don't care if I die without you knowing. Tried to catch your eye for a stint until I realized what that meant.